you enjoy, not your pain, medications, and limitations. To learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatment, call us at Sound Pain Solutions or visit soundpainsolutions.com.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Give me the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cat there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, good morning. Hello, everybody here on a holiday week. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports, 710, seattlesports.com, Seattle Sports app, all the podcast platforms. You know where you are, you know where you find us, and we certainly do appreciate it. Yep, we're here today. We'll be off tomorrow and Wednesday for Christmas, then back Thursday and Friday to get ourselves ready for the Chicago game and the reaction to the Chicago game on Friday. But yes, that game all of a sudden does not take on quite the same level of significance. Instead, we all got to make sure that even if you win, the Rams lose to the Cardinals, because unfortunately what happened yesterday made that game a whole lot more meaningful. The Seahawks no longer fully in control of their own destiny, and yesterday stunk. Yesterday is bad. That's a big game. That's a winnable game, and it is, quite frankly, a horrible loss. You know, you get beat by Green Bay because they were the better team on that day. There was no doubt about it. Green Bay was a better team. You got beat by Buffalo because on that day there was no doubt Buffalo was a better team. You lose games like that, it stinks. You have to, do a little soul searching. You got to figure out what the difference is between you and them and why they're better than you. And you think about talent, you think about coaching, you think about scheme, you think about all those things, execution. But yesterday's so frustrating because I'm not convinced Minnesota really was that much better. I'm not convinced they were better at all. You blew it. You made mistakes. That's the first really bad loss in a while because of the mistakes. You could probably count 10 or 12, and if, you were watching the film, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more you could go into from there. But there are 6 major mistakes in that game that, to me, led to roughly a 34-point swing in what was a 3-point game. 34 points for me, just based on things you could control. The first one's iffy, all right? So if you don't want to accept the first one, fine. I still got 5 more. The first one for me is that Reed couldn't start the game. Why? Violation of team rules. What was that team rule? I don't know. But I'd be willing to throw a small amount of money down to say that the team rule was no tweeting at Brock Heward when he criticizes you, especially when he's right. I don't know that. Maybe there was another team rule violated. It wouldn't be the first time. But no Reek Woolen for the first series, and you just get abused. They go right down the field. They score a touchdown. I'm going to consider that to be a self-inflicted wound. If you don't want to, fine. I won't argue with you. But I do. That's something that was within his control, and it led to specific problems out on the field. But, hey, maybe if he was in there, they score anyway. Maybe that one doesn't count. Fine. Take my 34 points and drop it down to 27. Still a lot. Second one for me, and this is as easy as it gets. Trey Brown just lines up off sides, negates a sack, and then just because he wanted to really make sure we had something to talk about, he gets torched for a touchdown on the next play. Okay, well, that's a pretty big one. The sack on third down probably ends that drive. Instead, you get beat for a touchdown. 7 points. Brutal pick. The first pick from Gino is just brutal. You're inside, your own 30? It's just amazing how many of Gino's picks either take points away or directly lead to them. Brutal pick. Inside the 30. Vikings get 3 only because your defense, and specifically Boye Mafe, steps up with a huge sack. Kind of saves your bacon there. But there's 3 more points. I mean, that's the difference in the game, by the way, that 3 points. You got Murphy's face mask, which negates another sack. And then, of course, you get the lazy D right afterwards, which unfortunately leads directly to a touchdown. That one you're probably going to throw on Reek again. But, Lyle, did you say afterwards he said that wasn't a face mask? That can't be real, right? Because that was definitely a face mask.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
But he said afterwards that it wasn't?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's just video of it. He grabbed the guy's face mask and pulled on it.
I can go and try and find the sound if you want. It's somewhere where he said it's not a face mask.
I don't know whether I even need to hear it. I mean, maybe I do. Maybe there's some, extenuating circumstance that I'm not aware of. But there's pretty clear video of him grabbing the face mask, pulling down, and that's partly how he ends up with the sack. Yeah, they're going to call that every day. Of course they are. That's a huge mistake because it leads directly to another touchdown. Oh, that's a what? Almost a 25-yard play right there? 20 anyway. Oh, brutal. Then you get Gino taking a sack to make it a longer field goal, and they end up missing from 60. I can't even really criticize the decision to go for the field goal there. Could you? I don't know what else he was going to do. What were your choices? Punt? Go for it on, 4th and 15?
You're in the exact same spot if you try that field goal and miss than you are if you try and go for it on 4th and 15. So I get it. You try and trust Myers from 60 so he can make it from 58.
I think that's the right move. It didn't work, but okay, whatever. Like, I don't have a problem with that. And by the way, it didn't really end up affecting them on the other side, right? Because they end up with the stop and they get the ball back. I mean, like, all of that worked out just fine. The problem is you take a sack that made that a 60-yarder instead of a 55-yarder. That's another gigantic mistake. And he held the ball way too freaking long on that play. And then, of course, you got the pick to seal it. That's number 6. And I know there's been some criticism of DK on the play. Fine, whatever. You can criticize him if you want. Like, I'm not going to stand in your way. Maybe DK could have run a better route. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm some guy who breaks down the film and has every idea what's going on. It sure looks to me like a back foot throw, like a heave into a group of white jerseys. You guys can disagree. You can tell me, oh, Gino's doing his thing. Gino's great. And this, okay. I'm probably going to disagree on this one. Because what I saw was a back foot heave deeper down the field than it needed to be and was one of many decisions I thought Gino messed up in that game. Open receivers he missed, easy plays he decided not to take in order to go for the more difficult, and ultimately it killed them. That's supposed to be the one thing he's doing really well this year, right? Give him the ball, 2 minutes, he's going to go down and score. Well, not this time. Full minute to go, needing only 3. Quarterbacks in this league supposed to convert that. You got to get 3 points. You certainly can't throw a pick. Were there challenges? Sure, of course. Man, we could talk all day about the false start penalties and the holding call, like all the various things they did wrong. I mean, like those 6, to me, were like the ones that specifically cost you and were within your control. But we can go all day if you want with just mistakes they made. So was Sam Darnold good yesterday? Yeah, he was good. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen, but he was good. Did you get to him enough? No. Did you make so many mistakes that it allowed him to be the story? Sure. That's how I saw it. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you he was awful. He wasn't. He was fine. He was good. Good quarterback. Did a good job. You didn't do your job. You didn't do nearly enough defensively. And then all the mistakes you made, you put it all together. Yeah, you're not going to win that game. And that's probably, not definitely, but very likely going to cost you your opportunity to go to the playoffs this year. Because now you got to really root for Arizona. There are some other scenarios where you could get in, but it takes a lot to go your way. Simplest is obviously just win out and hope that Arizona beats the Rams. Yeah, that's a brutal one yesterday. And we're going to talk about Gino today. Guys, I understand that there's a lot of positive in there, and there is. There's a lot of positive there on Gino. And yesterday, you kind of get a little bit of all of it, right? Some of the positive, some of the negative, the whole thing. He is second in the league in interceptions thrown with 15. He is tied with 15 interceptions with Baker Mayfield. Here's the difference. Baker has 34 touchdowns to Gino's 17. He's doubled him up on the touchdown side. And, oh, yeah, by the way, quarterback rating is higher, QBR is higher. It's amazing. Where do you think – we've had all these talks. Oh, Gino's top this, top that. If you just – I mean, again, this is not the be-all, end-all, but just look at quarterback rating. You know where Gino is? I was shocked by these numbers. 19th. 19th in the league in quarterback rating. It's behind Aaron Rodgers. It's behind Joe Flacco. That one's a little cheap. He's only had 6 games. He's way behind Russell Wilson, who, by the way, is 7th in the league in quarterback rating. If you prefer QBR, well, it doesn't get better. It gets worse. He's 21st. We have these conversations about re-signing a guy to a big deal. You're talking about 15 interceptions, second in the league. Kirk Cousins, by the way, is still the league leader this year, and he just got benched. He's getting benched. We're talking about, hey, do you want to give him $50 million? Come on. He's done some really good things. It makes the conversation interesting. But at the end of the day, picks like yesterday, I got to put those on him. And it's 15 of them now. And it's killed what otherwise could have been a good season. But those picks have just been murder. And they've lost you now a couple of games. They lose you this one, and I think they lost you the Rams game. There's others along the way, and some of them he's made up for. I mean, it certainly didn't help you in Green Bay last week or against Green Bay. So, unfortunately, different conversation now, and you know, you got to go out and you got to try to beat those last 2 teams, and you got to really hope that Arizona helps you out. Do I trust them? Heck no. I don't think that's a very good team. But you're going to need to root like hell for them on Sunday, see if they can beat the Rams. Man, it was a busy sports weekend. There was a ton of stuff going on. I'm not even sure that the Seahawks loss, was the most frustrating thing we saw. Tell you what that is next on Brock and Salk.
This is Seattle Sports.
Fires. Back shoulder. End zone. Touchdown. Seahawks. Barner.
Anything you see that goes wrong, put it on me.
Throw down the middle. JSN. What a catch over the shoulder between 2 defenders.
Against a team like this, the unforced errors has to get cleaned up. Starts with me.
Gonna let it fly. Got DK in the backfield. He's got it. Touchdown. Seahawks. Back in the end zone. DK Metcalf.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho 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 ho.
Keep your BMW running at peak performance at BMW Northwest. Same-day service appointments are available, or inquire about our new mobile service where we come to you. Locally family-owned for 56 years. Visit BMWNorthwest.com to schedule today.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Your favorite Seattle sports show is available anywhere you go through the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Full shows and interviews, exclusive video and articles from the home of the Seahawks and Mariners.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Some said a life-threatening brain tumor would dim Aisley's spark. But this future pop star is back to full sparkle, and she's ready for her big encore. Through research, compassionate care, and support from people like you, Seattle Children's is fighting for lasting cures. So for every kid that didn't have a chance, this relentless fight is for you. Because this isn't about beating the odds, it's about changing them for all kidkind. Hope, care, cure. Seattle Children's.
Planning to propose this holiday? Shane Company is ready to help you find your dream engagement ring. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. So when you walk in the door, you can trust your rock is in stock. At Shane Company, we've always sourced directly, cut out the middleman, and pass the savings on to you. We work with your budget, not against it. We'll also protect your ring for life with our free unmatched lifetime warranty. Come see us at shaneco.com and in-store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Take your game day experience to the next level with a Mariner Suite. Suites are perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, client meetings, and that company outing you've been trying to plan for months. Enjoy first-class catering, VIP parking, custom setups for 14 to 400 people, and more, all with the help of a dedicated Mariners rep. Suites start at $125 per person, and season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve now at mariners.com/suites.
Munoz strikes out the side, and the ball game is over.
When we run out that tunnel, when you put on that jersey, we see 12 as one. We compete together, side by side. You yell louder, we push even harder.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Make no mistake, this city lives for Sunday. Get your tickets for Seahawks game days at Lumen Field and experience what this city lives for. Visit Seahawks.com today.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, toughest loss of the year as far as I'm concerned for the Seahawks. They had every opportunity to beat the Vikings yesterday. Couldn't overcome their own mistakes, and that, unfortunately, against a good team, isn't going to get it done. Brutal face mask set up Minnesota's last touchdown, a couple of interceptions. The first of them gave Minnesota 3 points. The second, though, pretty well ended this game. Cut one.
3 deep safeties for Minnesota. Gino looks, going to fire downfield. It's going to be intercepted. That's going to do it. He had to throw the ball to Gino because he got belted just as he threw the football, and he threw before DK ever came out of his backpedal.
Yeah, and there's some question as to whether or not DK should have changed or broken off the route or whatever, and I know Gino seemed upset afterwards. He should be upset. He just threw a pick that ended the game when he had an opportunity to go down and lead at the very least a game-tying drive, if not one to win it. He throws for 314, but yeah, I think those 2 picks are going to negate the 3 touchdowns and what was some excellent work throughout the game at times. Afterwards, cut to Gino more than willing to own the mistake.
It's an interception, man. Anything you see that goes wrong, put it on me. Anything that don't look right, put it on me.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear him say that. I don't know what he's supposed to say. I don't have like a better answer. But for whatever reason, it's starting to ring hollow saying those things over and over again. There's something about it. Just put it on me is different from I made a mistake. Something about it's just not quite right. But hey, what are you going to do? Gino played hard, and he always does. Mike McDonald spoke to that afterwards.
Gino is probably our top competitor on our football team, and we're not sitting here with life at the end of December unless, Gino's done the things that he's done. So he's a fighter, man. I thought he played a good game.
Yeah, I understand the sentiment, and I think there's a lot of truth to it. Unfortunately, he also has his limitations, and I think we saw quite a bit of that yesterday. Maybe even worse, the NFL scoreboard not friendly. Rams win, so they take a full game lead in the division. The Hawks no longer control their own destiny. Commanders win, so the wild card road becomes much tougher, if not impossible. There was a little bit of good news. Dolphins won, Falcons won, Niners lose. Those were all things that helped your strength of victory. But unfortunately, it's sort of balanced out by the Broncos and Cardinals losing, the Bills winning, so kind of a wash there. If you want to root for anything tonight, root against the Saints, so for the Packers in Monday Night Football. That'll help your strength of schedule or strength of victory just a little bit. But ultimately, things are a tough road. You really need Arizona to beat Buffalo next week in order to have a chance.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, speaking of frustration, pretty easy to be frustrated right now as a Mariner fan. The team has needs all over their infield, DH, middle relief, and we're just sitting here watching as all the options appear to be dwindling. 4 first basemen came off the market over the weekend. Paul Goldschmidt goes to the Bronx for 1 year, 12.5. Carlos Santana goes back to Cleveland for 1 year and 12. Josh Naylor leaves Cleveland. He was dealt to Arizona. Not sure he fit quite as well here, whatever. And then the one that really hurt, Christian Walker to the Astros, 3 years, $60 million. Now, I'm not saying Walker would have agreed to come to Seattle for that price. He probably would not have, right? I mean, to go to a team with a lower track record than the Astros, to be farther away from his home in the South, to go to an extreme pitcher's park, like all of those are reasons that you'd probably have to spend more than the Astros did in order to get Christian Walker. But man, does that seem like a reasonable amount of money. Man, does that seem like the amount that you should be able to afford, even if you've got to try to beat it by some 10 million or whatever. Now, here's the one thing keeping me from being more upset. Lyle, I saw some of your reaction over the weekend, and I understand the frustration. The offseason is not over yet. There are still options. I'm hoping, and maybe I'm being unreasonably optimistic, that the fact that they haven't signed someone or made a trade doesn't mean that they're not going to. Anthony Santander is still out there. Alex Bregman is still out there. Pete Alonso is still out there. There are trade options for really good players that are still possibilities as well. But there is no doubt that seeing that go down yesterday hurt, or over the weekend really hurts Mariner fans who are waiting for this team to take advantage of their window, and as of yet have not seen any signs that they're interested in doing so. Meanwhile, really sad news from the world of baseball. Rickey Henderson passed away at the age of 65. He is, of course, the all-time single-season stolen base leader, holds the all-time records for runs and unintentional walks and leadoff home runs. I mean, just unbelievable. Stole more than 1,400 bags in his career, including more than 103 different times, as many as 130. But my favorite stat, I think this is incredible. Dude led the league in steals with 66 in 1998. He was 39 years old. 39! By the way, when he was in Seattle, he stole 31 in just over half a season. In 2000, 2 years later, he was 41. Just an unbelievable figure. R.I.P. to Rickey.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Yeah, so much for that 12-team playoff excitement. All 4 first-round games were blowouts, average margin of victory over 17 points. All 4 higher seeds advance, so, yeah, not a lot there. Kirk Herbstreit upset and, like a lot of people, wishes Alabama was in there. Cut 5.
My bad. Give me 1 second on that. Here we go.
Come on, Kirk.
That I hope next year the committee won't get caught up in what the social media and a lot of people who are fringe fans get caught up in, which is wins. They had 11 wins. They must be good. Who did they beat? I think is much more important than how many wins you have. That's old school way of approaching it. Indiana having 11 wins and beating nobody, that doesn't mean they're one of the 12 best teams. Remember, I know, Linda, I'm not taking this out on you, but there's a big difference between deserving and best.
Yeah.
What this is all about is giving us the best 12 teams. Now, it's subjective. How you want to figure out the best 12 is up to you. But that's what I want to see. I don't want to hear about wins.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If you win that many games in the Big Ten, you got to be in. Like, what are they supposed to do? I don't know. Kraken struggling badly. They dropped 5 straight, including yesterday to Colorado. They are going to need to take this Christmas break and really think about what they've done. That is everything you need to know. And we do that quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. A lot of response today. Certainly looking forward to reading what you guys have to say. You can text in 866-979-3776. Yeah, I definitely want to hear. Let's see, man, there's a lot of this stuff. Welcome to the party, pal. Been saying Gino wasn't the solution, and no, not saying Howell is, but this is the result of ignoring the quarterback position for the past decade in the draft. I'm not sure I'm new to the party, but appreciate that we're on the same side there, 804. 253, if we win out, why do the Rams have the tiebreaker? Went through this a little bit last week. Essentially, you're down to the 5th or 6th tiebreaker. The first 5 would be even, and you would go to strength of victory. So essentially the winning percentage of the teams you've beaten versus the teams they've beaten. They've beaten some better teams this year, and it's going to be real hard for you to overcome that. It's possible, but incredibly difficult here. Much better chance if the Cardinals just beat the Rams. So, we go through some more of these, and we will over the course of the morning. I want to make sure Lyle's got a little time. He's filling in for more today. You gonna bring us around the weekend, Lyle? Are we ready for this?
I am. I think we're ready.
All right. Well, we'll be judging. It'll be next on Brock and Salk.
This is Seattle Sports.
An absolute laser thrown out of a bazooka from Gino Smith.
Yeah, we got to go and put it behind us now. We got to get ready for Chicago.
Darnold being chased. He goes down. Boye Mafe coming off the edge.
I thought defensively they fought their tails off all game.
Here comes the rush. Gino steps up. He throws. He's got Jackson Smith and Jigba. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We gave ourselves a shot. Obviously didn't get it done, but got a short week. Got to get back to it, man. We got to get our minds right and get back to work.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Brandy Cruz. Hey, Brandy, why? Why First Mark Insurance?
Service. I wondered for a second whether I was getting the VIP treatment, and I kind of asked, hey, is this what you do for everyone? And they're like, of course. The whole First Mark Challenge is meant to be personal, right? So it really is tailored and meant to be a personal experience for every single person. I will say I've just done whatever is the quickest and cheapest type of insurance, and I realized while I was doing it, wow, this is what it feels like to get insurance as a real adult. We had a million questions, and they walked us through every step of the process, and then they're working for you. So they're not working for insurance companies, they're working for you. To experience that level of service really shows you what the difference is with First Mark.
Brandy did it. My family did it. You got to do it. It's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much money they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
We know you have a lot on your holiday to-do list. And at the UPS store, we're here to help with our pack and ship guarantee. Your gifts will arrive intact or you'll be reimbursed. Got holiday cards to print? We're also the premier printing store. We've got everything you need for every way you holiday. Visit the upsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different.
TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681. We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Come to me.
Focus Features invites you to succumb to the darkness.
Nosferatu.
From director Robert Eggers comes a masterpiece of horror.
He is coming. This creature is a force more powerful than evil. It is death itself.
Nosferatu. Rated R. Under 17nm without parent. Only in theaters tomorrow. Special engagements in Dolby and IMAX.
Toyotathon is here at Toyota of Kirkland. To celebrate the event, Toyota of Kirkland purchased extra inventory and has a premium selection of Tundras, Tacomas, RAV4s, Priuses, hybrid Camrys, and the all-new Crown Signa. Toyotathon is here, and Toyota of Kirkland is ready to celebrate with you. Visit the wonderful team and beautiful showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien. Hey guys, ready to feel stronger, leaner, energetic, and more confident? For a limited time, Revive Men's Health offers 25% off TRT and ED bundles. Plus, get a free month of compounded semaglutide, a powerful proven weight loss medication with the same active drug as Ozempic. Terms and exclusions apply. Don't wait. This offer won't last.
Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
So here's the deal with Mariners season ticket memberships. You've got two great options. With a Flex membership, you have the freedom to pick your seats, games, and number of tickets whenever you want. Or, if you like knowing where you're sitting all season long, go with a reserved membership and lock in your seats from day one. Both plans get you access to exclusive pre-sales, year-round discounts, special event invites, and more. Check it out at mariners.com/25.
Now Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I feel bad for chuckling at this text, but it did make me laugh. 570 this morning says maybe the Mariners could sign Luis Uranus to play third base for whatever reason. That one kind of got me. I'm sure that's just a little autocorrect, but yeah, they could bring back Luis Urias, I suppose. But Uranus, I don't know. It's a good morning for a Uranus joke. All right, Lyle, what else happened this weekend? Take us all the way around.
All right, let's do it.
Are you nervous?
Am I nervous? I'm nervous, but Maura does such a good job with these. I do want to fill the shoes well, so let's see how we do.
The bar is high.
Bar is high. Starting with the NFL on Saturday, there was a couple Saturday games. Ravens beat the Steelers 34-17. It was close for a lot of the game. Baltimore led by 7 going into the fourth quarter. But then those guys finished with 10 unanswered points to secure a 17-point win. Derrick Henry bulldozed Pittsburgh's defense in this game. He had 162 yards on the ground. Lamar threw for 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, on the other side, wasn't Russell Wilson's best game in the world. He had a pretty costly fumble on a scramble inside the 5, and then he had this pick 6, which was taken back the other way by Marlon Humphrey.
Play fake. Wilson, pressure. Has to get rid of it, and that's picked up the other way. Marlon Humphrey, pick 6.
Yeah, not his best day.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of that game. Baltimore just looked like a better team.
Yes, they did.
Right? I mean, like, sometimes it just, one team looks better than the other. Baltimore just looked like a better team. Like, okay. Derrick Henry, when he's going, is a moose. And it was like from the first snap of the game, he was just on a mission. What do you have, 75 yards or so in the first half? And they end up coming away with the win. Baltimore is, I think, the most confusing team in the NFL this year.
I can't read them. Like,
right? When they're on, you're like, I don't know how anybody beats them. And then the next week, they look like complete dog you-know-what. Like, it's just remarkable how rapidly they go back and forth between being a really top-tier, excellent team and just being nowhere near that. Especially strange considering I think we all think John Harbaugh is one of the better coaches in the league. So weird to see their level of inconsistency.
Yeah, it is. And how's that AFC field going to shake out come January? Because the Chiefs seem to win every game by a small margin. Obviously, the Bills are really good. But after that...
Yeah, kind of a bunch of whatever after that.
Right. So who knows? Maybe the Ravens go on a little bit of a run. We'll see.
I still think we're looking at Bills Chiefs for the AFC Championship, and it'll come down to who wins a coin toss at the end of the game.
All right, in the Falcons-Giants game...
Which, by the way, will be Patrick Mahomes. So let's just end the speculation. If there's a coin toss at the end of the game to see who gets the ball in overtime, because he's got the same horseshoe that Tom Brady used to have, he's going to win that. He's going to win that coin toss, go down, score, and that's going to be the end of it.
I remember when they won that coin toss against the Bills, and then it happened a couple weeks later again. And I remember Josh Allen tweeted sitting from his couch, just pain. Nothing else but pain.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. So, all right, the Falcons steamrolled the Giants 34-7. This game doesn't really affect the Seahawks in any way, but obviously wanted to give a shout out to Michael Penix, who made his first NFL career start. 18 for 27 on the day, 202 yards. Technically, the guy threw 1 interception, but let's use technically very, very heavily here because that pick was legitimately 0% his fault. Kyle Pitts caught the ball, turned upfield, had it wrestled away from him, and essentially it looked like he ended up shot-putting it into the arm of the defender. It had nothing to do with the accuracy of the pass from Penix.
Yeah, why isn't that a fumble?
You'd think by now the NFL would have a way to sort these things out where when something like that happens, it's not on the quarterback stats.
Yeah. First of all, Charles, can we turn the music down just a little bit? I want to make sure we can really hear Lyle. Good for Penix, man. Is anybody not rooting for Michael Penix?
Everybody is.
Right? And by the way, having the Falcons win was good for the Seahawks because of the whole strength of victory thing. So, like, you had an extra incentive to root for them anyway. But I know I am, man. I wish he was here. I wish the Seahawks had found a way. Now, obviously, he went at, number 8 or whatever it was, and they didn't have a chance to get him. He's a player I would have traded up for. Like, again, Kirk Cousins and Gino Smith have had pretty similar years. If you had Michael Penix here, we might be having a different conversation about what the future looks like.
Sure. Meanwhile, on the other side, it was Drew Lock starting for the Giants. 210 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. The Giants are now 2-13 on the year, and I know we're going to go through a lot of Seahawks stuff today, but I keep circling back that one of those Giants' 2 wins is here against the Seahawks.
Isn't it remarkable? It really is. I mean, that, again, that's another one of the reasons you don't have the, control of your own destiny anymore. But I'll just focus for a moment on Drew Lock. What a Drew Lock day. I mean, right? Like, that's like Drew Lock in a nutshell. And I saw one of them was a pick 6. It was just brutal. It's funny, these guys that just do the same thing over and over again. And it's not that we don't learn our lesson because, sometimes you don't have a better choice. It's not like the Giants are brimming with other options other than to continue to go with somebody like Drew Lock. The other options aren't really any better. but it is amazing. Like, guys who just unfortunately can't seem to get out of their own way when it comes to things like throwing picks over and over again. This group of guys that are like awesome for 10 straight plays and then brutal for the 11th or 9th or whatever. What did I say? 10 straight? So the 11th? It just, yeah, Drew Lock's one of those guys.
Yes, he is. The Bears, who play the Seahawks in just 3 days, didn't put up much of a fight against the Lions. 34-17, the Lions win. Truthfully, the Bears were out of this thing in the blink of an eye. The Lions were up 20-0 by the time there was 12 minutes left in the second quarter. That drive there was a drive that put them up 3 scores on an 82-yard touchdown pass to Jamison Williams. And Caleb Williams on the other end, he had a good day. 334 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he rushed for 34 yards, but I think it was too little too late.
Did you see Antoine Randall L after that JMO touchdown?
I don't know if I did. What did I miss?
He like sprinted from wherever he was in the middle of the field, like all the way down in near the end zone. He was just fired up about that play. And yeah, I mean, he was a pretty good player in his own right. And so just seeing him take off like that was kind of awesome.
My first memory of Antoine Randall L, unfortunately, is that trick play in the Super Bowl.
I know.
And I was only, 8 at the time? But yeah. So.
Yeah, not a great memory for Seahawks fans, but a pretty good player. And he's one of those converted quarterbacks who made his way as a wide receiver and did a really good job. And yeah, just seeing him run like that, I don't know, crack me up.
Yeah. Well, in the game that was most important to the Seahawks this weekend, outside their own, didn't go in their favor. Rams beat the Jets 19-9 in, again, game the Seahawks definitely could have used. Jets were up 9-6 at halftime, and those guys had some momentum going, but in classic New York Jets fashion, it all implodes in the second half. I mean, the Jets had a 12-play drive to open up that half. That resulted in no points. They went for it on 4th and 4 inside the red zone. They come up short. Then on the next Jets offensive possession, Cam Curl strip sacks Aaron Rodgers. Jared Verse picks up the fumble. Rams go on to score 13 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, and they went on to win by 10.
So I didn't watch all of that game. I watched a little of it. You know what Aaron Rodgers does? Kind of stinks.
Yeah?
Like, he throws a lot, like, after, I mean, look, he's getting old. I understand that for years he was a really good quarterback, one of the most accurate in the league. He's not all that accurate anymore. Like, he'll still make the superstar throw every now and again where you're just like, oh my gosh, could anybody else have made that? But he just throws a lot of balls nowhere near the expected target. Yeah. Like, a couple of, like, swing passes that just were, like, at the player's feet, or just plays where you're like, man, an NFL quarterback should not be missing that throw that badly. And then when you combine it with all of the attitude and all of the look at me and all, you know, all the extracurricular garbage that comes with it, I saw somebody saying yesterday, oh, maybe this, you know, Aaron Rodgers giving the Jets just enough of a reason to bring him back next year. They'd have to be insane. As would anybody else. Why would you possibly bring that cancer into your building?
Well, Salk, I'm glad you bring it up, because after the game, in shocking fashion, it was once again the Aaron Rodgers show in the press conference, as he had this answer when asked about the Jets and their final 2 weeks.
We got to figure out what it means to be a professional. You know, I think that's an important part of building culture. For the last 2 weeks, we can really see who's on board moving forward and who is ready to get out.
Man, you just have to wonder who's ready to get out.
He's truly unbelievable. I mean, he really, just the lack of self-awareness. Maybe he has it and he's messing with us all, but the lack of self-awareness is truly remarkable.
He just one-ups himself every week.
It's true.
It's crazy. All right, the Commanders beat the Eagles 36-33. This was another game the Seahawks definitely could have used the script to be flipped.
I know.
But as they're still battling Washington for the final wild card spot, it's funny, Jalen Hurts left this game early. Unfortunately, he had a concussion. He didn't return. It was the Kenny Pickett show for the rest of the day. He was okay, 14 for 24, 143 yards.
That's not really okay.
No, okay, so I'm trying to be nice, and you tell it how it is. Yes, he was not very good. The Eagles had a 5-point lead, 2 minutes to go, but the Commanders marched right down the field, scoring a game-winning touchdown. 6 seconds left. It was on a Jaden Daniels touchdown pass to Jamison Crowder, and here it is right here.
2nd and goal, 10 seconds. Daniels fires, end zone, touchdown! Jamison Crowder, preposterous!
With that, the Commanders win the game, 36-33, and Jaden, Another heck of a day. 5 touchdowns. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's not even just the total stats. It's kind of how he steps up into the big moments, too.
Mm-hmm.
I love this kid. I never thought in my life I could love a Washington player. I've hated that team since I was a kid. Hated them. And I guess I liked RG3 a little bit when he was there, so maybe it's happened one other time. I am 100% all in on this kid, man. I think he's so fun to watch. He's got just like I understand your personal reasons, Lyle, for what he did to you at ASU. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, he's phenomenal. He's kind of got it all. He has an opportunity. I mean, look, no rookies ever won the Super Bowl, right? We've never seen it. Brady did it as a second-year player, first-year starter, but I don't think we've ever seen a rookie win the Super Bowl, and I don't know whether he's going to either. I mean, it's going to be hard to get by the teams that are in the NFC. There are just too many really, really good teams that he'd have to get through, but I can't wait to watch him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch and see what this kid's got going up against the best and whether or not he can make the impossible happen, and if it's not this year, look out, man, because they are building something pretty interesting around him in Washington.
Yeah, I'm coming around on the Jaden Daniels thing more, and part of it is because now maybe using more of a real brain rather than just fan brain. It was so much Herm Edwards and Antonio Pierce's fault for what happened with that program, and Jaden's probably looking around like, what am I supposed to do? This thing's down the gutter. I've got to go somewhere else, so I get it. And also just seeing him play well, it's cool. Like, we had some good memories with Jaden Daniels those first couple years, so good for him. Anyway, 2 quick notes before we get to some other topics this weekend. 49ers lose to the Dolphins 29-17. Brock Purdy threw a game-ending pick. Cardinals lose to the Panthers 36-30 in overtime. That was capped off by a Chuba Hubbard 21-yard touchdown run with just 3 minutes left to go in overtime. So I don't know how much confidence that gives Seahawks fans and the Cardinals to beat the Rams next week, but we'll see. You know what? Credit to Bryce Young. He's playing better football. So
yeah, getting benched seems to have helped him. Unfortunately, more than it's helped your guy Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that is unfortunately true. I still won't give up. But anyway, let's go on to the college football playoff. There were 4 first...
Because you want to get to the exciting games.
Yes. They were all barn burners. In the first of 4, that was on Friday, Notre Dame and Indiana squared off in South Bend for an in-state showdown. Notre Dame got going pretty quick. Jeremiah Love ripped off an 98-yard touchdown run early in the first quarter to put them up 7-0, and they kept the foot on the pedal from there. Notre Dame led 17-3 into halftime. They had the game at 27-3 with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Indiana scored 2 pretty much garbage time touchdowns on back-to-back possessions. They actually recovered an onside kick right after the first touchdown, but again, I think it was too little too late.
Those games were on TNT, huh?
One of them. This one was on ABC.
It took me a while to figure all that out. I was like, TNT? What?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
I know. Yeah, I don't know how TNT got the rights to a couple of these games.
It seems so strange.
I know.
You go through an entire season of, games on 3, 4, 5 stations, and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, bowl games? Yeah, we're going to put that on TNT. What?
Playoff games, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Weird. Notre Dame moves on to the Sugar Bowl. They'll face Georgia on New Year's Day. As we go on through what was just a riveting first round of the playoff, Penn State and SMU were the first game on Saturday. That was in Happy Valley, and this game was not close at any point. When you talk about an absolute manhandling by the Nittany Lions, these guys were up 28-0 at halftime. They win 38-10. And I would say what changed the course of the game were 3 picks thrown by SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings, including 2 pick sixes in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Not great.
That's not good.
No.
I think what changed that game was SMU showing up to play Penn State.
Yeah. Yes. Or you could look at it like that, too.
Not on the same level at all.
No. So Penn State will go on to face Boise State in the next round. Texas and Clemson faced off next. I guess you could argue this was the best game of the 4, but I know you're a big college football buff, Salk, so maybe you know this. This was a rematch between 2 quarterbacks that went up against each other in the Texas State title game in high school. Quinn Ewers, Kate Klubnik, they were the 2 top quarterbacks in their class in Texas. And Klubnik won that high school state title game. He took the crown in that one. But this time, in the college football playoff, Quinn Ewers and Texas get the last laugh. Those 2 teams traded punches to start the game. They each scored a touchdown on their opening drive. After that, it was all Longhorns. They outscored Clemson 21-3 in the second quarter to take a 28-10 lead into halftime. And Clemson just didn't have enough of an answer in the second half as Texas went on to win 38-24.
Well, at least he'll always have the phenomenal memories of that high school win.
It's kind of a cool story. 2 top quarterbacks in your class. Apparently that state title game was pretty hyped up in Texas.
I would imagine all state title games are pretty hyped up in Texas.
Well, I think it was partly because the top 2 quarterbacks in the state were going up against each other and all that. But yeah, that's fair. Texas now heads to Atlanta. They'll face Arizona State in the Peach Bowl on New Year's Day. They're 13.5-point favorites, but what does Vegas know? ASU's going to win that game.
All right. Going away, no problem.
Yeah.
Could they have found a farther city for ASU to travel to?
No, I mean, this is about as far as you can go. There was a real chance ASU was going to get the Fiesta Bowl, which would have been amazing, but they didn't get it. I know. I was really hoping.
But even, I mean, what are the 4? Fiesta, Rose,
Sugar,
Peach, and
Sugar.
Sugar?
In New Orleans, yeah.
I mean, all the other, going to LA would have been easy. Going to New Orleans isn't bad. Going to Atlanta, that's a tough gig.
I don't know why they don't let the top 4 seeds that get the buys pick where they want to play rather than just assigning, which if you're Oregon,
Yes,
yeah,
you do.
What?
Yes, you do.
You get to pick?
You know why.
Money, yeah.
Yeah, money.
Okay, well.
You know exactly why. Money.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's just
All
money.
right, fine. In the nightcap of these college football games, the final one of the first round, Ohio State took on Tennessee in Columbus. This one was also never close. Ohio State was up 21-0 after the first quarter. Tennessee clawed back with 10 unanswered points in the second quarter, so they made it an 11-point game at halftime, but then Ohio State bounced back. They had 14 unanswered points in the third quarter, and they put the game out of reach in a big way, winning 42-17. Jeremiah Smith, their top receiver, who, by the way, is cousins with Gino Smith.
He's really good.
Really good. 6 passes caught for 103 yards, 2 touchdowns, and for those who are curious, Baby G hauled in 4 catches for 39 yards.
Yeah, that after his first catch went for like -3. He was just sort of bailing the quarterback out. I got to tell you, I had such a cool experience on Saturday afternoon. I didn't watch a lot of the college playoffs because, again, the games were all terrible.
Yeah.
But on back-to-back games, I watched Brock's daughter on national TV playing for Oklahoma State as they knocked off a higher-ranked Iowa State team. And Macy played a ton, which was great, and there were some shots of Brock and Titus in the crowd. And I went right from watching Brock's daughter play on national TV to watching G's son play on national TV. I was like, this is crazy. Like 2 of my best workmates and like watching both of their kids play on national TV. I know I work in the sports business, but it's still pretty impressive to see all of that. And having known both of those kids, Macy since she was 3, Baby G used to come into the studio when he was like in middle school, maybe a freshman in high school, and just seeing what they've done is pretty incredible. So my day on Saturday was watching my own daughter play in 2 basketball games in Auburn, then watching Brock's daughter, then watching G's son, and obviously the level of play that they're both at was just incredible. So that was probably the coolest thing for me on Saturday.
What kind of odds are you putting on for one of your kids to be Division I athletes?
0. I'm going to go with 0.
Okay. Well, there we go.
I'm going to go 0. That's is that it? Is that our whole trip around the weekend?
There's a little bit of baseball to wrap it up. We got like a minute or 2 left here. But Christian Walker signed this weekend, Salk, like you mentioned.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that, Lyle?
He signed with the Houston Astros.
I saw your Instagram thing. You were doing a voice there, right?
Yeah, I was doing a voice.
That's not your regular delivery.
No, it's not. It's a little bit of like an overplayed stage bit with some of these people online do these crazy voices. So yeah, I'm playing it up a little bit. But yeah, he signed a 3-year, $60 million deal with the Astros. And like you mentioned in the first Need to Know, there was a lot of first base movement this weekend. Josh Naylor traded to the Guardians for Slade Ciccone, who carved up the Mariners in his 1 start this year.
Yeah, and a competitive balance pick, right? Like a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah, good call. So Guardians fill their own first base spot after losing Naylor. 10 minutes later, they signed Carlos Santana, 1 year, $12 million. Paul Goldschmidt, 1 year, $12.5 million to the Yankees. And then also, the Nationals traded for Nathaniel Lowe yesterday on Sunday from the Rangers. So 5 first basemen.
I missed that.
Yeah. So Nathaniel Lowe goes to the Nationals.
Huh.
Yeah, the Rangers.
That's a weird deal.
Little bit.
Why do the Nationals want a deal for Nathaniel Lowe?
I don't know.
They stink.
Maybe they think they're going to be a tad better this year and they're trying to go for it a little bit. I mean, Lowe's got 2 years of club control. I don't know. The Nationals have this young core of bats that have a chance to be really good with James Wood and with Dylan Cruz, who's about to get up this year, and a few others who could really make it up. But
by the way, you could probably cross the Red Sox off the list as being a fit now to trade with the Mariners, as they are reportedly in agreement on a one-year deal with Walker Buehler.
There you go.
So they now have Garrett Crochet and Walker Buehler to go with the guys that were already in their rotation. Yeah. Could it be better? I mean, Crochet, Tanner Houck, Buehler, Brian Bello,
probably Cutter
Crawford, Luis Giolito. That's their rotation.
Oh, and I guess they signed Patrick Sandoval this weekend too.
Yeah. So I mean, like, could it improve? Yes. Do I think that they're going to be desperate to deal for one of your guys? No, absolutely not. So probably cross them off the list. So there's another dwindling option. The Cubs no longer want to make a deal with you in all likelihood. So maybe you can convince Baltimore. Other than that, your ability to trade one of your pitchers is nearly gone. Nobody seems to be interested in dealing for prospects right now for Major League bats. Right. And I'm going to keep coming back to the free agent names. Probably not going to be Pete Alonso. It's probably not going to be Alex Bregman, but he'd still be my personal preference. Put me on that train for Anthony Santander. Do I think it'll happen? No, I think the odds are against it, but that's probably the best scenario left for the Mariners. That's everything you need to know. And it's also Lyle's phenomenal trip around the weekend. Great job, buddy. That was really good. That was really good. All right. Brock Sam, we just dig into this game. I know Brock thought the Green Bay game was a big one. I did not. Yesterday was a big game, and it ended extremely, extremely poorly for the Seattle Seahawks. It's next on Brock and Salk.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the Seahawks head coach this morning at 9:30.
Gino played really well. He played smart. He's got a really great command about what we're trying to do on offense on a play-in, play-out basis, and we got a lot of trust in him, and he's just playing at a high level right now. So we're excited about him, and he's leading the charge for the rest of the team of the urgency that we need going into this week and finishing out the season.
Hear exclusive reaction to yesterday's game only on Seattle Sports. It's the Mike McDonald Show coming up at 9:30.
Traffic backups are inconvenient, but if your pipes are backing up at home, that's bad. There's only one cure for this pesky problem: the experts at Beacon Plumbing, Heating, Septic, and Mechanical. Trust them to clear your clogs. Stop freaking and call Beacon. 1-800-FREAKIN.
Enjoy an incredible year-end savings on new BMWs and over 200 pre-owned of all makes and models. Only at BMW Northwest. Visit BMWNorthwest.com today for details and selection. BMW Northwest. Driving joy, driving home.
Come to me.
Focus Features invites you to succumb to the darkness.
Nosferatu.
From director Robert Eggers comes a masterpiece of horror.
He is coming. This creature is a force more powerful than evil. It is death itself.
Nosferatu. Rated R. Under 17nm without parent. Only in theaters tomorrow. Special engagements in Dolby and IMAX.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org.
That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about the holidays. They're a time for friends, family, good food, and ugly sweaters. But they're also when cops are out in full force, looking to pull you over and find evidence of DUI. During the holiday months at 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we see DUI arrests skyrocket. So if instead of carolers coming to your house, it's a summons to court, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We have over 25 years of experience keeping the holidays joyous, because too much of Grandma Betty's eggnog can easily take you on a midnight sleigh ride to jail. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation in Seattle, Bellevue, Everett, or Tacoma. Don't drink and drive this holiday season, because if you're caught driving with a nose too red and cheeks too jolly, you'll be calling 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Great game. You got into the end zone again and again. How'd it feel?
Awesome. Like getting a new iPhone again and again. I just got the new iPhone 16 Pro today.
Really?
Yeah, and with AT&T Next Up Anytime, I can upgrade early every year.
Very nice.
Feel like an MVP again. Learn how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Offer subject to change. Additional fees, terms, and restrictions apply. $0 offer may not be available on future iPhones. Next Up Anytime feature may be discontinued at any time. See att.com/iPhone for details.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to excuse you on the interview.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello!
Well, Brock, you and I have barely had the opportunity to chat about what we saw yesterday. For the third straight week, I was watching on DVR without knowing the result and able to actually pull it off, as I've had basketball games for Cecily every single Sunday during Seahawks games. I had a great day on Saturday watching your daughter play on national TV, then watching G-Son play on national TV. That was kind of awesome. And then the Seahawks just drained me of my joy yesterday. That's a huge bummer of a loss.
Oh, I think we might have lost, bro.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. I set Brock up. Here we go.
No.
Hello. There we go.
Hello.
Would you turn off your microphone there, buddy?
No, what happened?
I don't know. You got to keep the mic on, man.
No, I kept the mic on.
Rookie mistake.
Sheesh. I was all fired up, ready to go, ready to start the show. How'd you tee me up?
I said that the Seahawks, I talked about your daughter and getting a chance to watch her and watching G-Son, which was great. And then the Seahawks just laid an egg yesterday. I put that loss on them. I know Minnesota's a good team, and I know that Darnold's playing well. That's fine.
Yep.
They lost that game. That's how I saw it. Minnesota did a good job. They didn't do anything wrong. I'm not trying to take away any credit from the Vikings. But the Seahawks made so many gigantic mistakes in that game. I went through it at 6 o'clock. I think they gave up to 34 points just in their dumb mistakes. Just in things they did. Not even, like, obviously Minnesota plays a role in all of those things. But like a 34-point swing just in their own mistakes.
That
Can't
feels
win
like
like
that feels like a little much.
Okay, I don't think so.
That feels like a lot of points.
Well, that's on you then. I absolutely believe that. The only one I think you could argue with me is I said Reek not being able to play the first drive cost them 7 points. Maybe it didn't. Maybe if he'd been in there, they still would have given up 7 points. I don't know. But to me, that's a mental mistake. He did something to violate team rules, and because of it, he's not in the game, and they needed him. Yep. Trey Brown lines up offsides to negate a sack. He get beat for a touchdown on the next play.
It's a 4-point play. Yeah,
at least, right? Maybe 7. Brutal pick gives the Vikings 3. I don't know what Gino's looking at. That's a Gino special right there.
Yep.
Murphy face mask negates a sack, and then you get a touchdown on 2 plays later? Gino sack makes it a longer field goal. Instead of kicking from 55, you kick from 60. There's 3.
Yep.
And then the pick to seal it.
Yep.
That's a lot, man.
It is a lot.
That's a lot of
in
major mistakes.
Yes, and Minnesota absolutely forces some of those things. Some are totally unforced. The fact that in that building, which was rocking yesterday for the home finale, which sounded as the game went on, and it was a compelling theater. I mean, it was a tremendous game. The 12s were totally engaged. And the fact that you jump off sides over and over and over and over again.
Jumping off sides is one thing, Brock.
Pre-snap penalties.
How about lining up off sides?
Is completely unacceptable, in Bob Stelton's words, and frankly, inexplicable. I mean, I just don't understand how that happens. And it wasn't, just one. Everybody took their turn at that, and it just sets you back against a good defense and makes life that much more miserable and uphill. You became completely, once again, one-dimensional, right? You throw it 43 times, and you run it 15.
I don't even see how that's a
43 to 15. That works in Conference USA. That works in college football. That does not work in late December pushing for a playoff spot. It just never does.
You know what's even crazier about that stat, Brock?
Find themselves with the opportunity to win their divisions or to clinch their divisions. You have to have some semblance of balance, and they had really none of that as that game went on. And then you're right, like these self-inflicted mistakes that cost you. Minnesota didn't make any. Sam Darnold, I thought for sure there was going to be a fumble. I thought for sure at some point, Ernest nearly had an interception on that final drive before the face mask, had an opportunity there, and he kind of slips and, was by no means an easy play nor a drop. But it's one of those that, oh, gosh, that's the one that you could have had. You couldn't force them into any mistakes. They had no turnovers, kind of like Green Bay, had just the one turnover the week before. You give it away 4 times in those 2 contests, and we talked about needing an aggregate split, so talked about finding a way to win one of these 2 games, and they had a much better chance matchup-wise in that one yesterday, and unfortunately couldn't finish the deal with the lead with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's when you
Gosh, that one stung. I was sitting out by the pool, actually. We're down here in Arizona, family and friends, and hanging out, and Molly came out and like, what is wrong with you? So I'm storming around the pool and just so frustrated because that one was in their grasp. And unfortunately, Jefferson makes an unbelievable play. Julian Love and Woolen do not. By the way, I see Woolen getting killed on that final play. That was a little more of Julian Love than it was Woolen. Woolen actually, in their 2 deep, pushed him inside, and that's a play that Julian's got to get to. Does not. They make it. They find a way to win, and now it is a real uphill climb to make the playoffs.
We are going to debate it in a little bit more, detail at 7:30, but what did you think of Gino's day?
Just a mixed bag, man. Just a continuation, right? Like the baseball team is what the baseball team is after 100 and some games. You figure out who you are. In this season, unfortunately, for whatever reason, Gino feels like he has got to force the issue. And maybe it is, again, a run game that's largely non-existent, certainly down in the scoring zone, or once you get to, plus 30, 40, it just feels like that run game has not been a partner of his, and he feels like he's got to, be Han Solo. He's got to try to do everything. That's maybe a bad example because I think he was a selfless, humble. Yeah. So
you just like the word solo.
I do.
Yeah, just throw the word solo in there. Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, and I think after how many number of games it is, it's pretty clear. Like that mistake prone and just a giveaway or 2 a game for the overall talent level of this entire group in year 1 with this staff.
Yeah.
It just, you don't have that kind of margin.
Yeah, we'll dig into him with a little bit more detail, as I said, at 7:30. It's such a bummer because I thought they played hard yesterday.
They did.
right? I mean, like, I got no issues with the effort. I thought they played really hard. I thought they were physical. I thought they matched up really well with a talented Minnesota team that's been playing well on both sides of the ball. I mean, those wide receivers are great, and I thought Josh Jobe played his butt off yesterday, right? I mean, he was physical, and he got after guys. I thought Kobe Bryant had himself a good day. Your linebackers were running around. Leonard Williams doing his thing. The edge guys, while not showing up every down, still had, like, their moment. Like, there was a lot of really good stuff yesterday. And unfortunately, that's why I was so focused on the mistakes, because, Minnesota did good things, but so did you. You just made more mistakes than they did. And unfortunately, that was the difference in the game.
I mean, 11 penalties at home. And again, most of those self-inflicted.
Brock, you said jumping off sides. You're right. Those are bad. How about lining up offsides on defense? What? As a corner? I don't think I've ever seen that before. And then to get torched the next play, you're just like, dude, you haven't played in a month, and that's what you do when you finally come into a game? It's just absolutely brutal sequence of events. And so we're going to go through it over the course of the morning. And I do want to have the Gino conversation coming up in 20. It's a pretty disappointing day. And I got some numbers, Brock, that I think are going to, hit home. Anyway, they're going to do something. We'll see. Coming up next, a little bit more on this game. But I do actually have a stat, Brock. I gave it to Lyle earlier. I think it's by far the craziest stat that I came up with over the weekend. When I tell this to you, your jaw will drop. It's next on Brock and Salk.
This is Seattle Sports.
Fires, back shoulder, end zone, touchdown, Seahawks, Barner.
Anything you see that goes wrong, put it on me.
Throw down the middle, JSN, what a catch over the shoulder between two defenders.
Against a team like this, the unforced errors has to get cleaned up. Starts with me.
Gonna let it fly. Got DK in the backfield. He's got it. Touchdown, Seahawks. Back in the end zone, DK Metcalf.
We are the home of the Seahawks. On behalf of KIRO News Radio, Seattle Sports, and Treehouse, thank you to everyone who helped make the 36th year of Holiday Magic truly magical.
This is the best part of our entire year here at KIRO. We don't have to do any bad news. It's all good news. It's you.
Holiday Magic may have ended, but the season of giving has not. You can still donate to Treehouse by going to mynorthwest.com/Holiday Magic. Thank you for serving Treehouse, and happy holidays.
Looking for last-minute gifts? Shane Company can help, even if you're still planning to propose. We have a wide selection of hand-picked diamonds and colorful gemstones in stock for dream engagement rings. Come discover fine jewelry gifts in every price range, curated by our in-house design team and crafted with care to our high-quality standards. At Shane Company, we'll protect your gifts with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Visit shaneco.com to find your store's extended hours and the perfect holiday gifts. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Tropical Smoothie Cafe here with your daily reminder to get on Tropic Time. Take 10. Sip a refreshing smoothie and manifest a your cabana side. Slade hot yoga, treat yourself. Crushed back-to-back meetings, get that me time. Adulted a little extra today, you deserve a vacay. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. And when you want a little snack with your smoothie, pair our new Hawaiian barbecue slider with our new caramelized pineapple smoothie for a match made in pineapple paradise. Limited time only.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs.
Picking up! Oscar!
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds? Birds? What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For over 55 years, you've trusted us for roofing, siding, windows, decking, and gutters. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors.
Tune in this Thursday as the Seahawks take on Chicago. Kickoff at 5:15 p.m. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, proud sponsor of the Seattle Seahawks and the Northwest's biggest and best casino.
Seahawks Player Spotlight.
Man, it felt good to go out there and be able to contribute.
Exclusive interviews with your favorite Seahawks.
You know, we got a genius as the head coach.
Every day with Wyman and Bob.
Toyotathon is here at Toyota of Kirkland. To celebrate the event, Toyota of Kirkland has purchased $3 million worth of certified used and pre-owned vehicles on the lot ready for you to test drive and take home. The largest selection of certified used and pre-owned vehicles during Toyotathon can only be found at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit the wonderful team and beautiful showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a 5th-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. Forward! If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law, battle-tested.
Eddie's! Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I, Cantor Diamond, can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Cantor Diamond, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach, combined with direct importing.
When you choose Cantor Diamond, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at Cantor Diamond. That's at KANTOR Diamond.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, toughest loss of the year as far as I'm concerned for the Seahawks, who have now lost 2 straight after winning 4 in a row. They had every opportunity to beat the Vikings yesterday, couldn't overcome their own mistakes. Face mask that set up Minnesota's final touchdown. A couple of interceptions. The first gave away 3 points. The second, unfortunately, ended this game. Come on, cut one.
3 deep safeties for Minnesota. Gino looks, going to fire downfield. It's going to be intercepted. That's going to do it. He had to throw the ball to Gino because he got belted just as he threw the football. And he threw before DK ever came out of his back pedal.
Yeah, it looked like he threw it off his back foot, Brock.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. He's got pressure in his face. He throws a corner route, and for some reason, I don't know why DK, maybe because there was coverage there. I mean, they had it covered.
I mean, there were like seven corners there.
Yeah, it was covered.
Yeah.
But you can't stop on your route either. I mean, this is now, unfortunately, the end of a game earlier in the year where you kind of let a guy undercut in that time. You just kind of stop on the route thinking you're not going to get it thrown to you. It was not going to be completed. It would have probably been a collision, if anything. But stops on the route, and the ball gets picked, and the game is over.
Yeah, I get it. Sateo Lomea got beat badly on that play. DK maybe could have done more.
Yep.
I'm putting it on the quarterback. I think that's a brutal pick. In that spot, you get the ball, minute left. You've got to be able to go down and kick a field goal. And instead, you start off the drive with a horrendous interception. Afterwards, Gino said what we've heard quite a bit from him over the course of the year. Cut 2.
It's an interception, man. Anything you see that goes wrong, put it on me. Anything that don't look right, put it on me.
I don't know, man. He's saying the right things in a lot of ways. I don't know what I want him to say there, so I feel a little bad criticizing. It's starting to ring a little hollow.
Oh, what rings hollow?
Whoa.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Whoa. Easy. Hair trigger over there.
What rings hollow, Salk, is 1-6 at home.
Yeah, but it's also some of those words are like, oh, just put it on me. Just put it on me.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't just put it on you. It's on you.
Yep.
There's something about, I don't know, 314 yards, but 2 picks. It just kind of negates a lot of the really good things that he did. And I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting past some of that.
I can tell.
Yeah, I really am.
This one finally stung you, Gino. It'll be a good conversation. Mark Sanchez is going to join the show. I don't know if it'll be in 10 minutes or an hour from now, but
okay.
Yeah, he'll weigh in as well. I'm looking kind of forward to his perspective.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure if that was going to happen or not, so that would be phenomenal. NFL scoreboard brutal. Rams win, so they get a full lead in the division. Hawks no longer control their own destiny. Commanders win, so the wild card route is even harder. There was a little good news. Dolphins, Falcons both won, which which help your strength of victory. The Niners lost, but that's pretty well offset by the Broncos and Cardinals losing and the Bills winning. So I guess root for the Saints tonight, but it's a tough road, Brock.
Yeah, it is going to be some long odds, and that's a bummer because you had a lead. You're up 24-20. You score a touchdown there in the final 4 minutes. You have a chance to close it out at home. You can absolutely, get on Gino and some of the mistakes, but, man, I know that defense and Mike McDonald, when you've got a lead with 4 minutes to go at home and a chance to close it out, and you can't, and they go right down the field in 40 seconds and score, pretty darn disappointing.
All right, now let's go to the second thing you need. There it is. It is very easy to be a frustrated Mariner fan this morning, Brock. The team has needs all over their infield, first, third especially, and we're just watching the options dwindle. 5 more first basemen have come off the market in the last few days. Paul Goldschmidt goes to the Bronx, 1 year, 12.5. Carlos Santana, back to Cleveland, 1 year and 12. Josh Naylor dealt to Arizona. Christian Walker to the Astros, 3 years, $60 million. I'm not saying that he would have agreed to that here because I don't think he would have. Right? Different team, farther away from home, Extreme Pitchers Park, but that sure seems like a reasonable amount of money. And then the Nationals just traded for Nathaniel Lowe. So there are still options, and that's the only thing keeping me from ranting and raving today. Like, you go sign Anthony Santander, and the frustration of the weekend totally, to me, goes away. So I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, they don't care, and they're not doing this and that, because they still have plenty of options. But you actually have to go do it because the Red Sox signed Walker Buehler. They don't really need to make a move anymore for a pitcher. The Cubs no longer need a pitcher.
Manaea signed this morning with the Mets for 3 years, $75.
They don't really need a pitcher. I mean, like, the only team maybe still left to make a deal for one of your pitchers would be Baltimore, and they've seemed very unwilling to do that. So where are you going to get that first baseman or third baseman? You got to go do it in free agency. You're running out of options.
A first baseman? Is that
he
why
could be?
He could be.
He's not a great outfielder.
He's played like 12 career games at first, so I guess if you wanted to stick him there, you could.
At the very least, he could DH and play. I mean, like, he can hit.
But you said specifically, both Justin and Jerry, to anybody that would listen, said at the winter meetings, said after the winter meetings, that, first base was going to be a priority. It's not when you see, or, an opportunity.
Yep.
And when you see what these guys went for.
Nothing. I know.
I was listening to our sister station this morning down here at Arizona Sports, and they said 3 years, $60 million. The disappointing thing is, you couldn't afford that. If you're the Arizona Diamondbacks, either just went to a World Series a couple years ago.
Maybe the Diamondbacks are just as happy to go younger with Josh Naylor. I mean, like, maybe they prefer that. Maybe they think Naylor's going to be a better player in the next couple of years than Walker.
Naylor got traded, and he went for Slade Ciccone, who's a fringe big league arm. He's thrown like 100 big league innings in 2 years, but he's got a 6 career ERA.
Yeah. Anyway, Brock, sad news from the world of baseball. Ricky Henderson passed away at the age of 65. You can go through all the numbers, single season stolen base leader, all-time stolen base leader. Here's the stat that blew me away. Brock, he led the league in steals in 1998 with 66. Do you know how old he was? 39. That's insane. Don't tell me we've lost Brock just as I've given him my unbelievable number. 39 years old. The guy won 66 steals. Truly one of the most incredible stats I've ever heard. Huge bummer to lose Ricky over the weekend.
I saw him on a plane like a year ago, coming back from a college football. He was on the same plane with me, and it's kind of one of those situations that none of us knew, right? Some of these athletes that have battled some awful disease, cancer, ALS, we kind of know. This one just out of nowhere, and a bummer.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
How'd that 12-team playoff go, Brock?
Not great. Not real great.
All the higher seeds advance. Average.
And I loved all the SEC guys. I love Lane Kiffin. You see Joel Klatt's tweet, by the way?
I did.
Back. Whoop. That one had millions of views, and I know Joel a little bit. I'm sure he was a little snarky, a little frustrated at Lane, and obviously Fox didn't have an SEC relationship, so felt like maybe he could clap back a little bit. And then I'm sure as he watched that thing go viral and millions upon millions upon millions react to that, and that was old Lane Kiffin and many in the SEC, like, oh, yeah, I'm really enjoying SMU getting blown out. Oh, yeah, that was really great. Indiana won 11 games.
I mean, Kirk Herbstreit basically said the same thing.
He did, and then all of a sudden Tennessee plays and gets their doors absolutely blown off in the same way. Oof. Probably had a little more to do with the home field advantage. Probably had to do with Tennessee playing the coldest game they've ever played. Probably had something to do with SMU playing in like 8-degree weather up in Happy Valley against a super talented team and 100,000 people. I don't know. Maybe that helped those games get out of hand a little bit, and maybe you want a first-round bye. So good for those teams that earned it. And, Tennessee and the SEC has nothing to stand on. I'm sorry. You lose to Oklahoma. You lose to Kentucky.
Hold on.
You lose 3
Let
games.
me just ask you, though. That's all fine and good. Does Alabama do better than SMU did?
Alabama could have lost by 3 touchdowns at Penn State, too.
Does Alabama do better than Indiana did? Probably.
I mean, possibly.
Probably. How about probably?
Probably. But they laid a couple eggs.
I know.
And you lose to...
I know. I'm not saying they made the wrong decision, Brock.
Oklahoma.
But they do better. Those teams weren't ready for prime time. They got their butts kicked.
Yeah, they did.
It really wasn't close.
Not a great look.
That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. So either we're going to talk to Mark Sanchez here in a minute, or we're going to debate Gino Smith. Yep. One of those two things is going to happen next. It's Brock and Salk, Sales Sports on 710.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the Seahawks head coach this morning at 9:30.
Gino played really well. He played smart. He's got a really great command about what we're trying to do on offense on a play-in, play-out basis. And we got a lot of trust in him, and he's just playing at a high level right now. So we're excited about him, and he's leading the charge for the rest of the team of the urgency that we need going into this week and finishing out the season.
Hear exclusive reaction to yesterday's game only on Seattle Sports. It's the Mike McDonald Show coming up at 9:30.
If you're looking to build a beautiful new custom deck, now is the time to take advantage of off-season savings from MasterDecks. Save big. Save up to $7,500 off your new deck from MasterDecks. From design to completion, MasterDecks does it all, building dream decks of all shapes and sizes across the Puget Sound. Don't miss out on off-season savings. Save up to $7,500 off your new deck. Get started today. Go to masterdecks.com. Masterdecks.com.
Hey guys, ready to feel stronger, leaner, energetic, and more confident? For a limited time, Revive Men's Health offers 25% off TRT and ED bundles. Plus, get a free month of compounded semaglutide, a powerful proven weight loss medication with the same active drug as Ozempic. Terms and exclusions apply. Don't wait. This offer won't last.
Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Enjoy an incredible year in savings on new BMWs and over 200 pre-owned of all makes and models. Only at BMW Northwest. Visit bmwnorthwest.com today for details and selection. BMW Northwest. Driving joy, driving home.
Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hey, it's Dave Wyman, and before you make that decision, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Why? Because he gives it to you straight. Dr. Wagner said my right knee needs replacement, and I appreciate his honesty and expertise. My left knee is fine right now, but the minute it isn't, I'm heading to Dr. Wagner for his expert opinion. I want to avoid another surgery, and I've heard so many patients rave about results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner. He's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience and has performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy without pain and without surgery. Whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
If you're injured in the state of Washington, here's what matters. Who represents you matters. The experience of their staff matters. Their investigation team and track record of success matters. Davis Law Group was founded in Seattle and has been winning cases for more than 30 years. We know Washington State, we know our courts, and we know how to deliver the highest level of client satisfaction. And that's what matters.
On behalf of KIRO News Radio, Seattle Sports, and Treehouse, thank you to everyone who helped make the 36th year of Holiday Magic truly magical.
This is the best part of our entire year here at KIRO. We don't have to do any bad news. It's all good news. It's you.
Holiday Magic may have ended, but the season of giving has not. You can still donate to Treehouse by going to mynorthwest.com/Holiday Magic. Thank you for serving Treehouse, and happy holidays. For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Some said a life-threatening brain tumor would dim Aisley's spark. But this future pop star is back to full sparkle, and she's ready for her big encore. Through research, compassionate care, and support from people like you, Seattle Children's is fighting for lasting cures. So for every kid that didn't have a chance, this relentless fight is for you. Because this isn't about beating the odds, it's about changing them for all kidkind. Hope, care, cure. Seattle Children's.
This holiday season, give the gift of Mariners baseball. Why settle for a pair of socks when you can grab a pair of tickets to see the Red Sox? A gift card? Skip it. And snag seats to see the Cardinals. A wine opener? Or how about an opening day trip to T-Mobile Park? For tickets and our complete schedule of marquee matchups, including the Yankees and Dodgers, plus can't miss collectibles, fireworks nights, $10 value seats, and more, visit mariners.com.
A walk-off grand slam for Cal Raleigh.
Come to me. Focus Features invites you to succumb to the darkness. Nosferatu. From director Robert Eggers comes a masterpiece of horror.
He is coming. This creature is a force more powerful than evil. It is death itself.
Nosferatu. Rated R. Under 17 nanometer without parent. Only in theaters tomorrow. Special engagements in Dolby and IMAX.
It's Fight Night, live boxing at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. A full evening of boxing action, Friday, January 10th. Make it a destination event. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this evening of pure excitement. The best in professional boxing. It's Fight Night, January 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Please game responsibly. This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Mike McDonald going to join us in about 2 hours. We think we've got a shot to talk to Mark Sanchez a little bit later this morning as well, so we'll keep you guys updated on that. Brock, I did find myself going through some of the Gino Smith numbers.
Is this where you're going to give me some numbers that are going to make my jaw drop?
Well, that was the Ricky Henderson one. Unfortunately, you dropped for that, but that was the fact that Ricky Henderson stole 66 bases at the age of 39.
That's not bad.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's jaw-dropping, is it not?
Yes.
He stole 30 with the Mariners at the age of 41 in half a season.
Yeah.
He was 41 years old.
Yeah.
What?
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm sorry, those numbers just completely.
Do you think Father Time was going to catch up to him? I mean, he was the greatest to ever do it. He didn't, yeah. So.
I mean, eventually it kind of caught up to him.
Yes.
But, geez, did it take a while.
Yeah.
No, there's a real conversation to be had today about Gino as he throws his 14th and 15th interception yesterday, and that's a lot. That's tied for second in the league, Brock. Number one is Kirk Cousins with 16. He's now been benched. Next would be Gino and Baker Mayfield tied with 15. But there is one key difference between those two. Gino has thrown 17 touchdowns. Baker has thrown twice that, 34.
Wow.
So when you look at those numbers, that's just touchdown, interception. I know that's not everything. That's a pretty tough look. So I thought to myself, hey, what are Gino's sort of rankings in some of the more broad categories? Because obviously touchdown to interception ratio is nowhere near where you want it to be. Have you looked at where Gino ranks in QBR and quarterback rating?
Yeah, he's like QBR, I want to say, was in the low 20s.
Yeah. 21st in QBR, 19th in quarterback rating. What are we talking about?
Yeah, you're talking about 15 interceptions. That's what you're talking
kidding.
about. Because you're not talking about yards, because I think he's second in the league in yards.
But you and I, of all people, Brock, you and I can't talk about yards.
Nope.
I mean, he's third right now in yards behind Burrow and Goff. You and I have spent a decade talking about how unimportant QB yards are. It was the crux of the Russell Wilson argument for a decade. Like, we can't sit here and say yards.
I can't, although when you don't run the ball, right? Because many times those yards are just garbage yards, right? Your team is down. All of a sudden you throw for 100 yards in the fourth quarter. That's not really been many of Gino's games. His team's been competitive in most of them. He's had to carry a lot of the burden. So for him, and again, yes, you're right. It would be very hypocritical for you and I, especially when for 10 plus years we argued they're meaningless. But doesn't feel like a ton of these are garbage. Like, this team is just garbage. They're down 3 scores, and he's getting garbage yards in the
No, I don't think they are. But I don't think
he's had to carry.
But I don't
he's
think
had
that's
to carry a majority of this offensive prowess.
Yeah, I don't know that my argument against yards, though, was ever about garbage yards. It's just stating that, how you choose to go up and down the field, whatever. Like, I'm not even really that concerned about the touchdown differential with Baker Mayfield. To me, it's the picks and it's the rating and the QBR. And I'm sorry, you can't put all of those together and not write a pretty unfortunate view of where they're at right now in that respect with the quarterback position. Gino's done some really good things. And you saw some yesterday was, again, like the last week, it was one of those perfect, like, hey, you get a chance to see every single part of this argument. Because he did some unbelievable things. The throw to Jackson down the middle of the field, unbelievable.
Yep.
The touchdown to DK, the touchdown to JSN. I mean, like, he had some truly
touchdown to Marner with 4 minutes to go to give you a lead at home. Yep, all of it.
Tremendous. 300 plus yards. But the 2 picks, the terrible sack, which puts them out of field goal range.
Yep.
In that moment, you can't take it. And I thought there were a couple of other kind of iffy throws and decisions.
Oh, yeah, he easily could have had 2 more picks, turnover-worthy
and
plays.
It's not even just the picks. There were a couple plays where you're like, okay, it's 3rd and 2. Take the easy completion.
Yes.
And instead, he's looking 25 yards down the field.
Yep.
I don't want to call it hero ball because I think that's probably an exaggeration. But there were a lot of moments of just like, hey, man, just keep the sticks moving and keep going down the field.
Do you give him any benefit of the doubt for just gutting it out and grinding it out? Because he was not 100% yesterday, right? And you could see the one scramble he had, nice little scramble for 8 or 9 yards, one of their better runs, really all game. Do you give him any benefit of the doubt yesterday to just suck it up, play for the team, not be 100%, not even close, not be able to extend the plays really with his legs and have to do it really with nothing but his arm and to still put them in a chance to win with 4 minutes to go?
Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
I think you've got to. Again,
I think I do.
Point to toughness. And
Tough
I know
dude.
Yeah, he has one competitive. And what did Mike McDonald say yesterday? Like,
I think this is cut 4. Mike McDonald talking about Gino's day yesterday.
Gino is probably our top competitor on our football team, and we're not sitting here with life at the end of December unless Gino's done the things that he's done. So he's a fighter, man. I thought he played a good game.
He is a fighter. And he scrambled one time and got undercut on a good play and a really bad decision by him out in the pocket. That first pick was really, really bad. And he's got like a really, really bad pick in just about every game this year. But then he's got to throw it 43 times. The whole burden is on him. They can't find consistent push. Guys line up and false start continually over and over and over again. Ken Walker gets hurt yet again. A run game just does not get any in any way established with any rhythm to set up the play action and slow them down. Instead, all 43 of those passes are largely leverage plays where he's got to produce, or you're off the field and you're not going to you're going to dig yourself a hole and then have to throw it more and more and more and more. So unfortunately, I don't think it's simple. I was listening to our sister station again, driving in this morning, talking about Kyler Murray in much the same vein. Like, Kyler Murray definitely wins you some games. Kyler Murray definitely makes some great plays and extends plays and does things. But then there's a point where Kyler Murray makes critical mistakes every single game. And what can your ceiling be as a football team when that most important position, every game has a glitch, every game has a reset, every game,
But Brock, I think you are making it simple. I mean, like, it's the same conversation.
It is, Salk, but then you realize, like, how many human beings out there, right?
So Brock, so let me make it simple then. If at the end of the day, Gino Smith is somewhere between the 13th and 17th best quarterback in football, is that a fair conversation?
Yes.
On any given day, he's going to be somewhere between 13 and 17. Fine. You just can't pay him more than that. And
Correct.
Do you believe you can win a Super Bowl with a quarterback in the 13 to 17 range if he's making significant money, even money accordant with being ranked in the 13 to 17 range? Can you win a Super Bowl like that?
I think that's obviously a fair question.
It's not a fair question. It's the only question. It is it. It's the only question you can ask yourself. If you don't believe you can win a Super Bowl with that, you've got to find another way to do it. And if you do, I want to hear a good convincing argument that it's possible. If you've got the argument has to be Jared Goff. The argument has to be Sam Darnold. That there are guys who at various points look like they were significantly worse and been given the right situation, the right play caller, the right offensive line, the right running game, the right everything, have not just won despite being in the middle tier, have quite frankly elevated themselves above that 13 to 17 range.
What makes this, and we've talked about this, what makes it gigantically challenged compared to Kyler Murray, a Jared Goff, a Baker Mayfield, many of these guys, Sam Darnold, what makes it just so gigantically difficult is the guy's 34 years old. Jared Goff is 30. Sam Darnold is 27. Kyler's in his mid-20s. Like, right? You're talking about 34 years old. And yet he doesn't move and play like he's 34,
But he is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know we were just talking about Ricky Henderson. Do you think he's going to pull a Ricky? And at age 38, he's all this. I mean, like,
no.
It's possible. People do it. Ricky Henderson's a real human being who actually did that. And I guess it's possible that Gino's going to do the same thing. But it's very, very unlikely. It goes against the norm. You don't usually see that.
Okay, so let's frame it this way. I think this would be helpful. And again, I think Mark Sanchez in 45 minutes will help frame it as well. Let's frame it this way. Even yesterday, Green Bay, last two games at home, you had to find a way to win one of them, right? This is an aggregate, two great teams, two playoff teams. Heck, Minnesota's 13-2,
right,
having a historic season.
But you got beat up by Green Bay. You weren't going to win that game. You could have won yesterday's game.
So frame it for me. And Lyle, you can weigh in on this as well. I'd like your opinion. Frame it for me yesterday, the reasons why you lost that game and where Gino sits in that pecking order.
Well,
you went toe-to-toe with 13-2 team, and you have a lead with 4 minutes to go.
I think I've already told you what I think it is, Brock. You made 6 gigantic mistakes, and 3 of them were Gino's.
Okay, so you put Gino as the reason right near the top of why they lost that game.
I got 6 mistakes. I'm putting it on Reek. I'm putting it on Trey Brown. I'm putting on Byron Murphy and the face mask, and I'm putting 3 of them on Gino for 2 picks and a bad sack that cost you a ton of points. Yeah. And it's not the only reason. It's a football game. Your offensive line had its problems. Your running game was awful. I thought Ken Walker had his worst game as a pro.
Yeah, Ken just did not look.
Oh, my God. And I can't for the life of me understand why they were continuing to run him out there. Was something maybe Charbonnet.
Well, Charbonnet was banged up, right? Charbonnet had 1 carry for -1 yard. He had a couple receptions. He had to be a little banged up.
He had to be. I know he had the thing over the week.
Yeah, the oblique over the week. So
Walker looked awful. I would have rather seen Kenny McIntosh, honestly. I mean, like, I thought there were a lot of problems. but your quarterback's got to make up for that. And when you throw 2 huge picks and have a god-awful sack, which honestly was as bad as any of the picks, that's your game.
Yeah. So you put him, so just, to frame it, you put him right near the top list or at the top list? He's the number one issue why you lost that game yesterday?
Yes.
In your mind? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I can appreciate that, but I can't agree with that. I think when you put the whole burden of responsibility offensively on him and ask him as a hobble guy to carry you versus a 12-2 team, you're not going to win. And it's the same reason they've lost 6 of their last 7 games at home. When you have no balance and you cannot run the ball against good football teams, and the calendar turns to November and December. And by the way, that's the way you want to be built. Mike McDonald wants to run the football. He has made that point in press conferences. Yes, he does.
No,
he
he
wants
doesn't.
to run the football. Yes,
He doesn't. He doesn't even try.
Yeah. He doesn't.
What do you
call
mean he
the plays.
wants to run the football? What evidence is there of that?
He does not call.
They
the
didn't
offensive
run the
plays.
ball until the 4th quarter or late 3rd quarter of that game. What do you mean he wants to run the ball?
15 runs, 43 passes. The week before, 16 runs, 33 passes. And I know some of this is you dig yourself out of a hole against Green Bay. Not yesterday. That game was within
You were
a
in it the
score.
whole game.
The whole game. And
You didn't want
by
to
the
run
way,
the
you
ball.
get a 1st and 5 in midfield, right? You get a 1st and 5, a great fake punt, awesome. And I think that's why they took a shot on 3rd and 1, by the way, because they knew they had to look to go for it on 4th down or on the punt, fake punt. Great call, great play. And then Minnesota, 12 men on the field. It's 1st and 5. 1st and 5. And you throw it, and you throw it, and you throw it, and there's a sack.
You don't just throw it. Hold on, let's be clear. You didn't just throw it. You threw a screen pass that took 30 minutes to develop.
Yes. Yeah.
It goes for negative yardage, then you throw an incomplete, then you get sacked.
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
you I don't know whether you believe in momentum or not, but that sequence was debilitating right there.
Yep. So they just, ultimately, I think.
Don't tell me they want to run the ball. No, they don't.
Well, the head coach
They
wants
don't.
to run the ball. The head coach knows how to win those kind of games and what championship teams do. Do you see what the Rams have done in their 4-game win streak? Go look at the Los Angeles Rams run-to-pass ratio over their 4-game win streak, where Sean McVay is basically taking the air out of the football. And that is with Cooper Kupp, and that is with Puka Nacua, and that is with Matthew Stafford. You know what he's done? He's run it 2 times to every 1 time he's thrown it the last 4 weeks. And because of it, they've won been a huge part of them winning their last 4 games.
I think it kind of, in some ways, goes even beyond that, though. Like, you're dealing with a right guard who last week had a 1.6 grade out of 100 in passing. His run blocking wasn't that bad. Why aren't you running the ball?
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm not trying to tell you that this is 100% Gino Smith's fault. That's not – I hope nobody hears that. I'm sure Gino will hear that when somebody tells him that Mike Salk was talking trash about him or something like that. That's not the point I'm making at all. But I absolutely think your quarterback has to be better than Gino was yesterday in those big moments. And if you're going to have a conversation about what to do with him next year, that's a key data point.
I know when we get to Blue 88, I'll just end it with this. He is being asked to play like a $55 to $60 million quarterback. That is what you are asking with this offensive style, right? With the people around him, you are asking him to be a $55 million quarterback. But he's not. I mean, you're paying him $30 million this year. Again, return on investment the last 3 years. Anybody that just wants to bag on Gino, whatever, that's easy.
It's a hard one, though, Brock, because there's no such thing as a $30 million quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, he and Baker Mayfield are kind of in that class.
Okay, well, Baker's got twice as many touchdowns to go with the same number of picks.
Yes, he does.
Sorry, buddy. This one's getting harder and harder for me. Let's do some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, so you got to change. Seahawks need to make personnel-wise this offseason. What is it?
Yeah, I think what's become apparent is corner. Corner is going to be something you have to evaluate within this scheme and within this system of what Mike wants to do. If you want to be kind of aggressive and, certainly aggressive within your front seven, so you can mix a lot of things and do things like you got to have, and you got Spoon. Spoon's an elite corner. There's no question about it. But in this league, I don't know if you can just have one. Josh Jobe has done some nice things. He's given you everything. Josh Jobe is a terrific 3rd or 4th corner in this league. He is. He is a terrific 3rd or 4th corner, has earned kind of that right. We thought Trey Brown was that. That unfortunately has not been the case. Huge step back, and started with the Giants game and the litany of injuries, and then yesterday just can't have it. I mean, it's so simple to look down the line of scrimmage and realize where you are. And oh, by the way, look at the line judge as well, and he will tell you, like he was out of his mind. That's all that can tell me, is that moment was just way too big, and then gets beat for the touchdown on the next play. So yeah, I think corner is going to have to be, one of those places that's opposite Spoon in this system. You got to look for. And Woolen's getting killed for the final play, and I certainly got on Tariq Woolen, and certainly didn't start this game for team issues, and I think he's on thin ice anyway from just the stuff beyond the X's and O's. I'm not going to kill him for that final play. Maybe he keeps sinking and keeps sinking and keeps sinking. It's cover 2, right? He's got responsibility, cloud coverage. He gets a good jam. That is where Julian has got to be over the top of a pretty simple concept with the go route. Didn't happen there, but I think corner is going to be an area you've got to look at as well this offseason.
All right, question number 2. Byron Murphy went from hero to go to over like a 5-second span yesterday, as it looked like he had a sack that might have won them the game. Instead, face mask, which, by the way, afterwards he said he didn't commit. Is that like from the Richard Sherman school of denial? I mean, like there's video of him tugging on the face mask. Right. What do you make of Byron Murphy so far as a rookie?
Good, not great. I'm going to put him in the good category. I've seen a lot of next-level numbers out there. As you probably wouldn't be surprised, Salk, on the social realm of things, there's huge debate. He commands as much double team as anybody in the league, much more than any other rookie is getting. He's in that position to take on those double teams, to free up Leonard Williams and free up those linebackers, and I'm not going to minimize that. It's one of the hardest things to judge and evaluate because it shows up 0 on a stat sheet. And most of us, even who've been around football, don't always know exactly what his assignment is. The fact that he's getting as much run as he is, playing as much as he is, tells me that he's developed and gained trust of that staff. So, I'm not going to say, he's been a non-factor, because I don't think that's fair with the job that's asked of him. But splash plays, difference-making plays, it feels like he's just a step or a half step. He's certainly hitting guys and hitting the quarterback and affecting, but everything has just been about a half step away, which is why he's got half a sack on the entire season this year. So I think, wanted a little more impact out of the number 16 pick in the draft, seemingly the one that everybody wanted in war rooms all across the league. I would say good. But I'd have a hard time saying he's been great this season.
All right, question number 3. We were just discussing whether or not the Seahawks want to run the ball or not. I mean, it's really hard to run the ball if you don't run the ball. Why is it so hard to just run the damn ball?
Here's one of the other freaking challenges, too, and I'm sure it just blows the wires of Grubb up there, and it does to me and everybody else. It's almost like a punt return now. Every time you've got a return, what's the first thing you're looking for?
Yeah, flag.
Is there a flag? Is there a flag?
The number of holding calls is crazy on
bro. That penalty yesterday on one of the early returns ended up being a 29-yard penalty. That's like a pass interference. It's one of the most punitive penalties out there in the return game when you look at the amount of real estate and how hard it is in football to sustain drives. And almost after every return, Salk, that's what I look for. Look for a little graphic on the TV.
The one thing I would say, though, is those returns generally won't happen without them. It's not like, yes, it's a big change in real estate, but you wouldn't have gotten it without it.
Without
the penalty.
Hold or the block in the back. Yeah, granted.
I think that's not always, but usually the case.
Usually the case. It's usually at the point of attack and everything else, and you have to block or hold or what have you.
Yeah.
It almost feels like in the run game, too. Like you get a great run yesterday, like a 15, 17-yard run by Ken Walker. You spring something, and there's Pharaoh Brown. And it's hard. Like, he's got his hand. You saw him after the play. Like, my hands are inside. I've got a cutoff block there. What do you want me to do? Like, if the NFL wants run game, you better be pretty darn lenient on holding calls.
They don't want
that
run game, though. They want passing game.
I guess so, because they look for it. It'd been very easy. Like, yeah, man, did a guy fall to the ground? Sure. Were his hands? I thought his hands were inside. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, to try to move these guys in the run game, and I can't grab, and I can't drive into the ground. Like, after every run play, Ken Walker spiked. I get it, because he's like, man, I explode through that hole. I do my job. I break an arm tackle, and it goes back 10 more yards.
That one was tough, too, because he was already by him when they called the hold on Fair Brown. You know my opinion on this. I've said it many times. I think they need to make a change to the rule. I think holding should be a 10-yard penalty on a passing play and a 5-yard penalty on a running play.
I would be all for that.
Because
it's
the reason
really hard. Look around the league. It's really, Minnesota didn't run the ball on you. They ran for 80 yards as well.
They did early, though, when you didn't.
On the first drive of the game.
Yeah.
Outside of that, didn't run for really nothing the whole rest of the game.
That's today's Blue 88. The reason why I think they could make that change is holding on a pass play is all about avoiding a sack. Right? So you're trying to make up for a great play the defense is going to make. Holding on a run play is about taking away your advantage in the running game for going deeper down the field yourself. And so for me, 10-yard penalty on passing, 5-yard on running.
Have you shared this before?
Yes.
No, I feel like
I've shared it
enough.
a dozen times, including with like Dean Blandino.
Salk, you've not shared it enough.
Maybe I should share more, but I feel very convinced of it.
I think as you watch these games in the NFL and how hard it is to run, I think that would make a lot of sense. Yeah. Because honestly, all of a sudden Ryan Grubb's up there like, great. Now every time I call a run play, if we split them and we do a good job, but there's a hand outside the frame, all of a sudden now it's a negative.
Yeah, now it's 1st and 20 off a play that I was only hoping to get 4 yards from.
That's right.
Right? Like a good running play is 4.5 yards.
Yes.
So I'm risking a 10-yard penalty to go 4 yards. It doesn't, math doesn't add up.
And again, it's why these coordinators like Catnip love to pass the ball.
Yep.
Right? Because I at least have the chance to get 15, 20, 25, chunk play, explosive play. Run game, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And then when you nitpick, and anytime a guy gets driven to the ground or hands outside the frame, now it is so punitive and such a negative play.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You need to stand on this strong.
I'm happy to. I've been standing on it for like 6-7 years.
This is one I could really get behind.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that I've actually convinced you of something. All right. It sounds like Mark Sanchez is going to join us a little bit later. We have takeaways. Maybe we'll get through some of them. Maybe not. Regardless, can we spend a few minutes on the baseball, Brock? Because what happened this weekend? 5 first basemen go elsewhere. How dire is the situation for the Mariners? That conversation next.
This is Seattle Sports.
An absolute laser thrown out of a bazooka from Gino Smith.
Yeah, we got to go in and put it behind us now. We got to get ready for Chicago.
Darnold being chased. He goes down. Boye Mafe coming off the edge.
I thought defensively they fought their tails off all game.
Here comes the rush. Gino steps up. He throws. He's got Jackson Smith and Jigba. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We gave ourselves a shot. Obviously didn't get it done, but got a short week. Got to get back to it, man. We got to get our minds right and get back to work.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Television sales on Black Friday set new records as millions of Americans snapped up the hot deals. But a lot of people were out of town or too busy to take advantage of the special pricing. So, how about a redo? Right now, you've got a second chance to save big on many of the top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs. Where? At Video Only, where the smart shoppers go. So, don't miss out. Check out Video Only now, or
you'll be sorry.
Hello, John here with Happy Hauler, your eco-friendly junk removal company. Did you know that all the viable items we remove are sorted then distributed to low-income and transition housing? We proudly work with Solid Ground and also Mary's Place Make a Home program. Your unwanted items can have a second life, making a big impact for local people transitioning out of homelessness or escaping abusive situations. This holiday season, let's help those that need it most. Happy holidays, or should I say, happy holidays.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Elshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about the holidays.
They're a time for friends, family, good food, and ugly sweaters. But they're also when cops are out in full force, looking to pull you over and find evidence of DUI. During the holiday months at 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we see DUI arrests skyrocket. So if instead of carolers coming to your house, it's a summons to court, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We have over 25 years of experience keeping the holidays joyous, because too much of Grandma Betty's eggnog can easily take you on a midnight sleigh ride to jail. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation in Seattle, Bellevue, Everett, or Tacoma. Don't drink and drive this holiday season, because if you're caught driving with a nose too red and cheeks too jolly, you'll be calling 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
Sometimes even heroes need rescuing.
I'm a retired firefighter, 27 years.
Kurt had severe pain in his knees and his shoulder, which was keeping him from enjoying his well-deserved retirement.
Loved to ski, loved to fish, and couldn't even walk 18 holes.
That's why Kurt decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
He was just awesome. He goes, yeah, give me a shot. And he took care of me. He stemmed my knee and my shoulder.
And how are you feeling now?
I was pain-free in 12 weeks. I play golf now pain-free, and it's awesome.
So you'd recommend this treatment to others in your situation?
Absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Wagner's, he's had a couple people call me, and I recommended that they do it.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
The holidays remind us how good it feels to be proud and confident in our appearance when gathering with friends and family. If hair loss is getting in your way, then my good friends at Advanced Hair offer the proven solution. It's the simple one-day treatment I received, the Advanced FUE. Advanced Hair begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and that new hair is guaranteed to grow for life. You choose how much and where, and they do the rest. Advanced Hair has helped tens of thousands of people, including me, and they are the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. World-class Dr. Parango and his top-rated team use breakthrough technology, delivering real results. The before and afters at advancedhair.com are surprising and incredible. Address thinning, receding, or balding today. And to celebrate the holidays, get a free consultation, 250 free hair grafts, and $250 off. Simply call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, a lot of football today, Brock, and we'll come back to that in just a few minutes. And it sounds like we're hoping to talk to Mark Sanchez here in a little bit, which would be great. Before we do it, I do want to address the Mariners from this weekend. There's been a need to know, so we've had a little conversation about it, but 5 first basemen end up going elsewhere this weekend. Some, for more money than others, but none for anything unreasonable. And when you have a need for a first baseman specifically, and a third baseman or a second baseman, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could pull this off. To see all of those guys go elsewhere certainly was a challenge, I think, for Mariners fans. I am not going to come in today, Brock, and say, rip them up and down, because I don't know what they're going to do and who they liked more than, who they didn't. Maybe this is all a precursor to them getting Anthony Santander, and I'll say, hey, that's what they wanted to do all along. Maybe they're going to surprise the entire world and sign Alex Bregman, and if they do, I don't want to be sitting here saying they didn't care, they didn't want to do this, they're too... I don't know what's going to happen yet. Mm-hmm. But that margin is shrinking rapidly. And the fact that not just the 5 first basemen end up going elsewhere, but also the Red Sox signed Walker Buehler. So the idea that you're going to trade for Tristan Casas is probably gone at this point.
The Mets signed Manaea for 3 years and $75 million. By the way, numbers that are pretty close to Luis Castillo.
Yeah.
Right? That $20 to $25 million range is what a quality starting pitcher, a quality first baseman,
and I think
somewhere between 13 and 20 million.
I think I would tell you pretty comfortably, by the way, that Luis Castillo is better than Sean Manaea. Right?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, certainly got a lot more track record over the last couple of years.
I don't even think it's particularly close. So, I mean, again, he's good value, but the teams that are potentially interested in a pitcher have made their deals. The Cubs don't really have the same level of need. The Red Sox don't have the same level of need. So, the Phillies went out and got another pitcher from Miami. So, most of those conversations you've had about potentially moving on from a pitcher or, trying to use one to acquire a bat, that's getting to be a tougher road also. So, there's a few names left. Lamont Wade's name has been around here for a while, and Jerry occasionally will just find a way to surprise you and come up with a name that you didn't even realize was available, and these things happen sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But as we sit here today, seeing Christian Walker go for just 3 years, $60 million has to sting.
Yes. Seeing Naylor traded for a reliever. Seeing Carlos Santana. Is it, Lyle, what is this little tweet that you guys you sent me?
Okay, so Naylor was traded for a starter, but it was Nate Lowe that was traded for a reliever, Nathaniel Lowe.
Sorry.
But no, you're good. Yeah, this was about the Carlos Santana signing. There's a little blurb from an article that just came out. I'm wondering what you guys think of it. It says this. The Mariners, according to sources briefed on the discussions, offered Santana a one-year deal with a player option for a second season, an extraordinary bid for a first baseman entering his age 39 season. But even though Santana's home in Ohio was gone, he could not stay away. So it sounds like the Mariners offered Santana more security and he still went elsewhere. I don't know.
We've seen that before, right? And we saw that with Trevor Story. I mean, we've seen things like that. And maybe at the end of this, they're just going to end up, getting back together with Justin Turner, and he's going to play first, and you try to, go bigger at a different position or something like that. But this is a tough spot they've put themselves into now, Brock.
Don't you like Nathaniel Lowe? Wasn't he a guy there in Texas?
Talked about him at the trade deadline.
Right.
I really like him.
Yeah, a couple good years. Got a couple years left before he becomes a free agent, and it's just been just a solid, just kind of what you need.
Yeah.
Just a Ty France plus, just what a great defender as well.
I gotta tell you, I kind of like a lot of these guys. Goldschmidt, that wasn't a deal you were going to do. Christian Walker for 3 years, $60 million. You should have been able to do that or something similar to it. You probably have to beat it, right? Because he's going to a better hitter's park, closer to home for a team with a better track record. So he's not. If you both offer him the same deal, he's not going to take that. But you got to do something. So if it means spending $10 additional million to get him, okay. I'm not a big Naylor fan in this situation. Lefty, I don't know that he's that different from Luke Raley. Obviously, he's a little better, but I'm not sure that would have been the best use of your resources.
He's a little combustible, huh?
I don't know. It's not that it's a bad thing. If you're asking me to kind of look through all of these, I don't know that I was too upset by the Naylor one. But Walker certainly bums you out. Nathaniel Lowe certainly bums you out. Carlos Santana, if he didn't really want to come here. I mean, those things are bummers, man.
Yep.
And I think Lamont Wade, if you throw out that name, he's similar to Luke Raley. The guy's a glorified platoon player who can't hit left-handed pitching, so I don't know how well he fits here.
I would agree with that. Once Luke Raley sort of emerges as more of a first baseman than an outfielder, then Lamont Wade doesn't become the same kind of fit that he was before. So...
it starts to be a game of musical chairs to a degree, right? And all of these chairs now are filled up elsewhere. Some of those trade prospects to free up salary and do those things to take a run possibly at some of these guys feels like, man, the arms have been delivered. So what kind of musical chairs do we have left at second and third base?
Well, I'm not giving up the ghost at first. I mean, I still think Pete Alonso's probably a pipe dream, and so is Anthony Santander, but I'm not going to give up the ghost just because I think that he would be such a difference maker, and I think he's the best hitter available on the market. So if you were to go out and somehow pull off a miracle and sign Anthony Santander, which I don't believe they're going to do, but if they did, that would be the Hail Mary that hits. That would be phenomenal. Alex Bregman, similar type of thing. You sign one of those two guys, Brock, and I think a lot of this conversation changes significantly.
It can, but this is why this was such a gut punch this weekend, is because this was the position, as you just saw.
Yep.
Right? It's kind of like the QB draft last year. They had 5 or 6 different flavors. Who do you want? You want Bo Nix? Do you want Michael Penix? Do you want J.J. McCarthy? There were 5 or 6 guys that you felt like could be NFL starters. These are all.
But I put Santander in that category. He's played more outfield than first base, but he could become a first baseman. And so, I'd put him there, and I think he's just as good a hitter as some of the guys that signed this weekend.
But you just said it's a Hail Mary.
It is?
Because it's going to be something they don't have, which is a lot of money and a lot of cash. These other deals were seemingly for players or prospects or people that you do have within your system to some degree.
Totally know that. Yep. Totally agree. So what are you going to do? There's no what are you talking? Are we talking about going out and getting, what's the guy from the second baseman for the Yankees?
Yeah, it's Gleyber Torres. There's Ha-Seong Kim from the Padres who's going to miss some time, who I like, but I would still be interested.
Ooh. That is not an upgrade, even really over what you had last year.
Oh, I like Ha-Seong Kim. Now, Ha-Seong Kim, no thanks, but Ha-Seong Kim.
I was talking about Gleyber, but fine.
Sorry, Gleyber Torres. I don't know. I'd be kind of interested in Gleyber Torres. The guy can hit when he's at his best.
So what if the rest of this offseason is Gleyber Torres and Justin Turner?
I mean, I don't know if that's totally like me throwing things at the wall in anger type of offseason, but it's not an inspiring offseason either.
What if you run it back with Rojas and Polanco with better deals?
I think that would honestly be a better plan. I like Turner, and I think bringing Turner in gives you the adult in the room, and he could do a few things, DH
he has some
a little
Carlos
bit.
Santana just vibe to him, the guy that's been there and done it, and certainly the clubhouse
I've
enjoyed
heard
him.
some stories, Brock, about just how important he was in the Mariners' hitting approach the last couple months of the season. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Hall of Famer who became the hitting coach, but my understanding is that Justin Turner had a lot to do with the messaging and the thought and what kind of went on behind the scenes. I'd be perfectly happy to bring back Justin Turner. But if your off season is essentially bringing back Justin Turner and finding Gleyber Torres, I don't even really know what to say about that. That's taking a step backwards at a time when you're trying to take a step forwards, and you've used the word impact over and over again. Those guys are not impact players. They're not necessarily bad players, but don't sell them as impact players because there's nothing true about that.
Well, do you buy the fact at all that not in 24, but a year ago in 23, Gleyber was 20% above average as a hitter with an 800 OPS?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying, again, not a bad player. Of course, he did that in Yankee Stadium.
He did.
As a lefty bat, right?
Gleyber's a righty, but, I mean, things like WRC plus are park adjusted, so it says he would do that anywhere. At least that's what the numbers say.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to jump up and down for Gleyber Torres. That's just not going to happen. It's just not. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back with everything you need to know. And then we talking to Sanchez at 8:30, Brock?
I'm working. He got home late last night. I'm trying to let him sleep in a little bit. I'm trying to let him sleep.
All right. Either we'll talk to Mark Sanchez or we've got takeaways. We're not hurting for stuff to do. It's Brock and Salk, CL Sports on 710.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the Seahawks head coach this morning at 9:30.
Gino played really well. He played smart. He's got a really great command about what we're trying to do on offense on a play-in, play-out basis. And we got a lot of trust in him, and he's just playing at a high level right now. So we're excited about him, and he's leading the charge for the rest of the team of the urgency that we need going into this week and finishing out the season.
Hear exclusive reaction to yesterday's game only on Seattle Sports. It's the Mike McDonald Show coming up at 9:30.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Enjoy an incredible year-end savings on new BMWs and over 200 pre-owned of all makes and models. Only at BMW Northwest. Visit BMWNorthwest.com today for details and selection. BMW Northwest. Driving joy, driving home.
Mariners single game tickets for 2025 are on sale now. The squad will be back in action before you know it. And now's the time to lock in your seats for the biggest games next season. Don't miss opening day on March 27th. Incredible giveaways like the Julio Bat Flip Bubble and matchups versus the Dodgers, Yankees, and more. Plus, check out 30 value games with tickets starting at just $10. Go to Mariners.com to get your tickets today.
A deep blast. This is gone. Home run. Julio.
On behalf of KIRO News Radio, Seattle Sports, and Treehouse, thank you to everyone who helped make the 36th year of Holiday Magic truly magical.
This is the best part of our entire year here at KIRO. We don't have to do any bad news. It's all good news. It's you.
Holiday Magic may have ended, but the season of giving has not. You can still donate to Treehouse by going to mynorthwest.com/Holiday Magic. Thank you for serving Treehouse, and happy holidays.
The best defense is a good offense. So before the sewer backs up into your home and wreaks havoc, stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is there for you when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Hey, Brock Heward here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
And with over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I, Cantor Diamond, can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Cantor Diamond, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach, combined with direct importing.
When you choose Cantor Diamond, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at Cantor Diamond. That's at KANTOR Diamond.
Innovation is at the heart of every Polestar car, and their electric SUV Polestar 3 is no different. From the intuitive infotainment system to its head-turning design, Polestar 3 is for drivers unwilling to compromise. That means merging a spacious, luxurious interior with the torque and handling of a sports car. Visit Polestar Bellevue today for end-of-year lease offers and book a test drive for Polestar 3 at polestarbellevue.com.
Storms can be overwhelming, but you're not alone. We're here 24/7 to secure your home and give you peace of mind. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. From your roof to your siding, windows, and deck, we'll handle it with care and get your home back to better, quickly and safely. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. We're here for you when it matters most. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, build a best roof you'll ever need.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Incredible disappointment yesterday from the Seahawks. I thought they were just as good as Minnesota was. They played hard. They had enough talent out on the field. They just made a lot of mistakes and kind of went through them over the course of the day. Yeah, Brock, I am going to focus a little bit on the quarterback. You get a lot of the credit when you win. You're going to, unfortunately, face the music when you lose. The interceptions, the sack. Afterwards, and cut to Gino Smith, willing to put all of the onus on himself.
It's an interception, man. Anything you see that goes wrong, put it on me. Anything that don't look right, put it on me.
Yeah, and put it on me, to me, is different from it's on me. And I don't know, maybe I'm splitting hairs a little bit there, and I'm willing to admit that. There is a frustration out there that DK Metcalf quit on the route a little bit, not for the first time. Certainly, Sautola Lamea got beat badly once again in pass protection on that play. But it sure looks like a back foot heave in a spot where you just can't afford to put the ball in harm's way. You got to go down and at least get a field goal to get to overtime. And unfortunately, that's a killer mistake and not the first of the game.
Yeah, and Minnesota didn't make many of them. I mean, it was hard. I watched the game ball ceremony in the victors' locker room there as Minnesota goes to 13-2, and they shout out so many of the contributions from so many of their different guys. And you know, you're kind of waiting on Sam Darnold to throw you one. You're kind of waiting on Sam Darnold to sack fumble. You're kind of waiting on Sam Darnold to make a mistake that just has not happened this year, as he's thrown now, 32 touchdown passes. He did not have an interception. He did not make mistakes. It was not Minnesota that was jumping off sides again and again and again and again. It wasn't Minnesota that was lining up in the neutral zone when they get themselves off the field. It wasn't Minnesota that had 30-yard penalty on a special teams return. Right, those were your mistakes in your building, 11 penalties, and to lose 6 of 7 at home down the stretch, right? You start the season, you beat Denver at home, you beat Miami at home. So you only win one more home game all year. That was a hard-fought Arizona game by a touchdown. You lose the other 6.
Just crazy. NFL scoreboard not friendly. The biggest one, Rams win to take a full game lead in the division. God,
how did they do it, by the way? How'd they do it? How'd they do it the last 2 weeks?
Running the
How'd
ball,
they do
playing
it
good
against
defense.
San Francisco? How'd they do it against the Jets? Right? They didn't make mistakes. They ran it. They ran it. They ran it. They just waited until that opponent made the critical mistake, and certainly the Jets did that.
A lot of them, man. He threw some really bad balls in that game. Commanders also win, so that's going to make the wild card road a whole lot tougher as well. Man, Jayden Daniels fun. So not a great weekend for Seahawks fans.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Not a great weekend for Mariner fans either. The team with all kinds of needs in their infield watched so many of the first base options dwindle. 5 first basemen have changed teams. Paul Goldschmidt to the Bronx, Carlos Santana to Cleveland, Josh Naylor dealt to Arizona, Christian Walker goes to the Astros, Nathaniel Lowe goes to the Washington Nationals. That's 5 guys that you could reasonably say were a fit here in Seattle that all end up elsewhere for various reasons. At some point, the Mariners are going to have to take some level of action, and as we sit here nearing Christmas, that is yet to occur.
Which of those deals stung you the most?
Christian Walker's the one that sort of points out the biggest flaw. Nathaniel Lowe is probably the one that might have been the best fit.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, Nathaniel Lowe, nearly a 3 WAR guy last year, nearly 12 in his career 272. OPS plus of 120 in his career, an OPS of 789 in his career.
Yeah, that one hurts.
And a great defensive first baseman, by the way.
Yeah, that was not great. Not great at all.
What did he go for?
A reliever named Robert Garcia.
Yeah.
Excuse me, what did he go for?
Yeah, that doesn't mean Texas would have done the same deal with you, but the point remains. That's a tough one to handle. Ricky Henderson passes away this weekend. Also, Brock, only 65 years old. All-time leader in steals, single-season stolen base leader, all-time record for runs, unintentional walks, leadoff home runs. Stole more than 1,400 bags in his career. Stole more than 100 bags 3 different times, and as many as 130. And as I said earlier, led the league with 66 steals at the age of 39. 2 years later, at the age of 41, he stole 31 bases in just over half a season here in Seattle. Those numbers are insane.
He was different, man. Greatest to ever do it on the base pass, and did it even as a Seattle Mariner. Wore a lot of different uniforms over the years. An eccentric guy that you feel like maybe every clubhouse that he was ever in has a story to tell about him. There was no wallflower, right?
Man, some of the stories people were writing and saying and tweeting about this weekend, I mean, just an unbelievable character and truly one of the greats of the game.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
I don't want to talk about the 12-team playoff games. They all stunk. I don't want to talk about the Kraken. They've lost 5 straight, and they don't look very good. At least the new kid's big. I'll give them some credit, but sheesh, they don't look good at all. Let's talk about the Cowgirls, Brock. Ooh. Let's talk about Oklahoma State girls hoops at home, taking down Iowa State on Saturday.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool scene. Wish a couple of Macy's threes that were just in and out could have fallen for her sake, but played her little butt off in about 20 minutes, and just yeah, man, those folks, they love their athletes. They about 3,000 people in the arena, no students because they were all out on break, and yeah, hopefully they can keep it going. It's gonna be a tough Big 12 now. Gonna play down at Baylor on New Year's Day. That'll be a little bit of a challenge, but pretty neat. And G. Scott Jr., man, he was awesome too. What do you have? 4 catches in the thumping of Tennessee, and a big one late in the game, big explosive play, blocked great. So yeah, pretty cool to see some kiddos in the building have a great weekend, because the local teams, it is hard to come up with some positive stuff right now.
All right, that's everything you need to know. That Hurd kid's pretty good.
For the Pokes?
Yeah.
Oh, she could be like a running back.
She's fun.
She is strong.
She's fun. They should have a lot of shots of her parents too, going crazy in the stands.
Oh, they're pretty animated.
Couple shots of Brock and Titus together. I assumed Molly and Haley had taken off to go get food or something.
No, we were divided house. So 2 season tickets on one end. They got some great tickets down on the other end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
You and Titus pretty engaged in the game. Some nice comments about you guys from
good.
the announcing crew.
Oh, fun. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. By the way, Lowe at T-Mobile, because it's always kind of one of the first things I look at. 261, 407, 713 OPS. You know, he's hit like 7 bombs, like not overwhelmed. And by the way, again, remember those numbers. You're facing one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball.
Yep.
In that building. And yeah, that one, gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch in there, man, that really kind of bum you out. You really hope that there is a plan that we currently can't see. Right? That's the hope. I'm not telling you that's the case. I'm telling you the hope, and the reason I'm still holding back. It's only December. You still have, another month and a half or so before spring training.
Yep.
I'm holding back because I'm hoping that there's a plan that we have not yet seen, that hasn't yet been revealed to us.
Yep.
But clearly, if the offseason continues down this path, it's devastating.
Okay, can I give you one more, by the way? I'll give you one more in the building. How about All-American Tommy Sullivan, long snapper?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, traffic man of the traffic czar.
I watched him play the other day.
Yeah, Tommy going to play for the national championship there at Montana State, and an All-American long snapper.
Watching 3 of my coworkers' kids play on national TV, pretty impressive. Just within the last couple of days, after watching, 3 games at the Auburn Fieldhouse with 5th grade girls, it was certainly a little step up to watch those 3 on national TV. All right, I assume Mark Sanchez is a no-go, at least for now.
Oh, we'll see. We'll give him a call in 5 minutes.
All right, we're going to give him a call. We'll see if he's awake. Other than that, we got a ton of takeaways. Don't go anywhere. We got the coach coming up in an hour. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
This is Seattle Sports.
Fires, back shoulder, end zone, touchdown, Seahawks, Barner.
Anything you see that goes wrong, put it on me.
Throw down the middle, JSN, what a catch, over the shoulder, between 2 defenders.
Against a team like this, the unforced errors has to get cleaned up. Starts with me.
Gonna let it fly, got DK in the backfield, he's got it, touchdown, Seahawks, back in the end zone, DK Metcalf.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard. Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
On behalf of KIRO News Radio, Seattle Sports, and Treehouse, thank you to everyone who helped make the 36th year of Holiday Magic truly magical.
This is the best part of our entire year here at KIRO. We don't have to do any bad news. It's all good news. It's you.
Holiday Magic may have ended, but the season of giving has not. You can still donate to Treehouse by going to mynorthwest.com/Holiday Magic. Thank you for serving Treehouse, and happy holidays. Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Toyotathon is here at Toyota of Kirkland. To celebrate the event, Toyota of Kirkland purchased extra inventory and has a premium selection of Tundras, Tacomas, RAV4s, Priuses, hybrid Camrys, and the all-new Crown Signa. Toyotathon is here, and Toyota of Kirkland is ready to celebrate with you. Visit the wonderful team and beautiful showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
Hey, holiday heroes. It's a special time of year at Shane Company. As a family business for 4 generations, we know firsthand that fine jewelry is the gift that says it all. From the engagement ring that says, "You're the one," to the diamond tennis bracelet that says, "Thank you for being you." We have the widest selection of fine jewelry gifts, in stock and ready to take home. Come pick out a pair of hand-matched diamond stud earrings or a necklace with a colorful gemstone. Check out our new Bloom collection, one of owner Tom Shane's favorites this year, featuring stunning sapphires, emeralds, or rubies. At Shane Company, every gift and every price range is crafted to our high-quality standards. We have jewelers working in every store to bring your gifts to life, making sure rings fit just right, setting center stones and engagement rings by hand, and engraving your pieces to make your gifts even more special. Your gifts will always be protected with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Visit shaneco.com and come see us in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
'Tis the season to be bold.
Gino's going to throw right down the seam. Touchdown, Seahawks! JSN with the touchdown.
To rep your team.
The stands are rocking right now.
Your style, your way. This is the Pro Shop. Shop official Seahawks gear now at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, still unable to get Mark Sanchez yet. So we will keep trying, maybe even at 9 o'clock for a few minutes. He is, I thought he did another great job yesterday, Brock. Every time he does a Seahawks game, I come away super impressed.
Mm-hmm. You can read between the lines a little bit, too. I think over all 3 games, he's had an equal frustration as I have with some of the commitment to the run. Something you've said a whole bunch, and it's true. If you really want to be a run team, it's so simple. You got to run the ball. And I know it's easier said than done. Big Ray clapped back a little bit me last night on Twitter when I said, figures don't lie, liars figure, but these are hard to figure anything else out other than you're not committed to running. 15 runs for 59 yards. 15 running attempts. That includes Gino having one. That includes a jet sweep that I liked. I actually thought there was a little bit more. If JSN plants his foot in the ground, he gets upfield. There's a pretty good alley there for even more than the 5 yards. But, man, just 15 runs for 59 yards. It's just not going to be good enough against a 12-2 team.
All right, well, let's start our takeaways.
Takeaways.
You know, when you look at this home record that I have hit on a couple different times and losing 6 of 7 at home here down the stretch, Salk, slow starts. Right, the inability to stop people on their opening drives, and then the inability. When was their last scoring touchdown? Was that with Kitna in '99? I think
it was. Yeah,
I think it was. I think we're coming up on.
He made a couple guys miss. Yeah, it was a nice play.
I think we're coming up on almost like 2 years of the lack of an opening drive touchdown. Got an opening drive field goal against Arizona, one of their better opening drives a couple weeks ago. Love the balance in that game in Arizona, but unfortunately just a slow start. Minnesota, give credit to them. I thought on that opening drive and really their final drive or their penultimate drive where they scored the touchdown, they outplayed you. Their stars were a little better than yours. They made a fourth down conversion. They won contested plays. They found a way to drive it right down your throat as Green Bay did and get an opening touchdown, which just is such a huge tone setter. And unfortunately, you did not, and we're playing a little bit uphill from then. So figuring out these starts defensively, I know some of it, the adjustments have been awesome. The second half was awesome. Stopping the run was awesome. There's a lot of awesome components to what you did defensively over the course of 4 quarters. It really was. But that opening drive, and then obviously the final drive when you had to leave with 4 minutes to go, those are the 2 that are going to sting.
Yeah, it is weird. The defense has sort of been like that, right? Where at times they're dominant, but they seem to have 1 or 2 just like hiccups per game. I mean, not unlike the Gino Smith phenomenon, where it's like they just seem to go to sleep for a few minutes. And I don't really know what to make of it. Unfortunately, it was early in the game, and as you said, at a crucial point late in the game. I can't help think, though, that 2 of the 3 touchdown drives that were so costly were massively aided by penalties that negated sacks.
Yeah.
And both of them were completely avoidable. They weren't defensive holding where you got beat. They weren't pass interference down the field. It was lining up off sides as a corner and a face mask on a sack. Like, those are just mental mistakes. There's no other way to say it. Brutal. Just absolutely brutal to both of those drives.
Takeaways.
All right, Reek Wollenbrock. What do we know and what do we think? Okay? We know he was benched, and according to Mike McDonald, it was for violating a team rule. Let me play you the sound. Here is Mike McDonald, cut 8.
Yeah, it was just a team rule thing. So we made it right, and that's what we decided to do. It was best for the team, and then we'll move forward.
Okay, that's what we know. He was benched for violating a team rule. I think that rule was no responding to Brock Heward when he criticizes you on Twitter. That's just what I think.
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
I don't. We know his effort and consistency has been questioned by both players and coaches this year and in the past. We think there might have been another example in this game. You don't think so. A lot of other people do. Maybe you're right, and it was a Julian Love thing.
I mean, it's the 2 of them. You've got a 2-on-1. You're doing exactly what you want to do. he came up on cloud coverage, and maybe you want to force him more, honestly, to the outside. Maybe this will be something, I don't know how much Mike will share, right? Typically, cloud coverage, you do want to jam that guy and try to jam that receiver outside to give your safety a little more time and push him to the boundary. He jammed him inside. So maybe, again, when you do that technique-wise, then you must sink, because it's going to be hard for Julian to get over the top when he's screaming back vertical. So there is going to be, I think, some level of blame when you've got a 2-on-1 and they still beat you. And not just beat you for the game-winning touchdown, unfortunately.
Now, we also know he's super talented, right? He's nearly as talented as most other cornerbacks in the league. The last question is, do we think they can make that worth it? Or are some of these, non-talent related problems too great?
He's that quote-unquote talented?
I think he's talented,
after 3 years?
Yeah, I think he is. I think you see moments, Brock, where you're like, oh,
unique length and unique top-end speed. Those are two things that are really unique. I know his college tape was so bad that even with that kind of unique length and unique speed, he was a 5th rounder because the tape was that bad. So let's talk talent, physical talent, being able to run really fast at that length. Yes, I'll give you that. Like football talent, football acumen, football detail, get your hands on people. The attention
but those
to
things
detail
aren't talent, Brock. That has nothing to do with talent.
Quickness, short area quickness.
I think he's got all that. I think that the mental stuff is the question. And it seems like you're answering the question. Do you think they can make it all worth it? Your answer seems to be no, probably not.
Well, they're giving him a heck of a run through, and they're giving him every opportunity to make this thing right. And in this case, even disciplining him on the opening series for whatever that team violation was and playing them and him then the rest of the game, giving him every opportunity. But now it's on him whether or not he wants to be a pro.
I'm actually kind of with Salk. I saw Woolen get benched for the first drive this weekend, and I thought to myself, I think that might have been because he responded to Brock.
I really do. You don't think so?
I'm with Salk.
No.
I'm not. Honestly, I'm not making a joke. I actually do think that probably was it. I don't know. I'm guessing, but I think it was.
Takeaways.
You know what they got to draft this upcoming class? And by the way, this draft class, I was just looking at it. In a year where you're still alive, you need some help now, but you're getting a lot of contribution. AJ Barner, he shows some stud.
Yeah.
He just got some stud to him, right? Obviously, your first round picks playing a ton. Tyrese Knight, your 4th round. Like, this is a good Lamea starting. Like, this draft class is getting a lot of run and doing some really, really good things. Do you know what the 2025 draft needs? A dynamic returner. You need to draft a dynamic returner. Like in this game today, like having that threat, having a difference maker in the punt and kickoff return game, right? Like I think that's worth a mid to late round pick.
Is it when all of those just end up being called back due to penalty? You're the one just saying it.
I'm saying I look for penalties seemingly on every single one of those. But you got to have somebody, to me, that's just a threat. The guy they picked up off the street's doing a serviceable job. He's not fumbling. He's not bumbling, unfortunately, like D and LaVisca did in those guys. But I think there's a place in this game for a dynamic dude there that is a real threat every time he touches the ball. And I think what that can do to infuse that phase of the game, I'd like to see them take a swing at a difference maker there.
They definitely did not have the advantage in the starting field position.
They've not the last couple weeks, right? You look at these quality teams, man. You look at why and how Green Bay gets to this spot. You look at what does Mike always like to say to us, man? We're chasing, right? Chasing those margins. We're chasing those edges because that's this game, man. Like that Minnesota team, their 53 is not that much greater than yours. I was looking at their personnel. They got some nice people doing some good things. But it wasn't overwhelming by any means. Jordan's an elite. He is the best in the world. That dude is a monster on the outside, no matter really what coverage. Oh, just a game-changing, game-wrecking monster. Over the middle, deep down the field, doing whatever. Dictating so much out on the perimeter. But outside of that, personnel-wise, pretty even. Pretty even in a lot of different spots. Advantage Seahawks some areas, advantage Vikings in some areas, but that's why chasing those edges, chasing those margins, just the littlest of details makes such a gigantic difference, especially in December. Answer, they cost you
Yes, absolutely.
The cost so didn't make any.
Not you then. I totally. Whoa. The only one I think you could argue with me is I said Reek not. What is going on over there?
Sorry, I misread a cue.
All right, let's stop playing old
Oh, you know
stuff
what?
there.
I think that's my fault. My bad.
Yeah, I think it is too.
It's always your fault. Okay, be like Gino. It's always on me, whether it's on Charles or not.
Chill out over there.
Yes.
Bring me back some music. Let's keep doing takeaways. Brock, I am completely confused by every part of the running game.
Yeah.
They barely ran it, especially early. They gave 8 of 13 called runs to Ken Walker, who I thought left a ton of yards on the table.
Yeah.
Charbonnet got 1 carry after looking really good in his last few games. Maybe that's injury. McIntosh at least showed a spark.
Yeah.
And then gave it back to Walker again. I don't understand any part of that.
It's so strange. And maybe some of this is a week-to-week deal, right? And these guys spend their livelihood. This is what they do. They crunch the tape. They look at all these matchups. They know their personnel and all they can do and all they can't do. And they're trying to put them in the best position of success. But I'm trying on the other end to figure out, what are you? And a couple weeks ago, down in the desert, remember that game?
Yeah.
That really, in many ways, ended this Arizona season. It totally came to an end yesterday with a road loss to Carolina that's got their heads spinning out here in the desert. Who are we? Who's Kyler? Where's this thing going? As the NFL seemingly has a way to do unlike any other sport. That's 31 runs. It was 31 runs, 30 passes, and they ran that gap scheme, right? That pin and pull, and you're bringing people, and you're splattering folks at the line of scrimmage, and there's Big Abe, and there's LaMay, and there's movement, and there's, okay, we're going to be, this gap scheme's good to us. Where's that been?
I don't know.
Where'd it go?
Now you're playing against much better defensive lines.
Yes, but I'm just saying, call it. Can I call it and see it run? And if it gets blown up, it gets blown up. But do you not feel like you can win on those block downs that those guys, maybe that's their evaluation. Kenny Clark and those guys in the middle for Green Bay and for Minnesota, you just can't move. And maybe with their surfaces and their edges and all the edge pressure and all the things that they do, that it just wasn't best to highlight and play and call. But man, it was so effective 3 weeks ago, and we've seen such little of it. You go back to Green Bay and you're trying to run all this perimeter run, setting the edge with no effect. I don't even know what you tried to do in the run game yesterday, because your running backs had 12 carries. Ken had 8, Kenny had 9 or 3, and Zach had 1.
Yeah, it was really
12 carries.
Just a total disaster in all ways. And even then, Brock, even with all of that, all the problems on the offensive line, I mean, I don't mean to pick on him, especially because I think he's still coming back from injury and they got hurt again. But there were like 3 plays where I felt like Ken Walker had yards that he just left on the table, either because he didn't trust it, or he was looking for more, or he just went the wrong way. I'm just like, I really feel more comfortable when Zach Charbonnet's running the ball.
Yep.
And it's a bummer that he didn't get more carries yesterday. Maybe he couldn't. I don't want to criticize. But that style of just like get what's there, I feel like is much more suited to what this team has right now in its offensive line.
Yep.
Takeaways.
Tyler Lockett. What do we think?
Well, I like the rolling play.
Why do you roll?
To get the first down.
No, why did you fall to the ground?
Well,
Why did he fall to the ground?
It was a low throw, and he was near the ground.
He's got to be battling through something, right?
It was not a low throw. He ran a little curl route in space. He did a great job of finding the space. Gino put it on. I mean, thank God that he was able to stop, drop, and roll like a fire drill and get that 1 yard. And I think, honestly, if they would have thrown a red flag, I think he may have been touched a half yard or yard short of it, as he was on a previous third down where he ran short of the
sticks. Yeah.
What is going on?
Not his best.
He drew the pass interference, and he's great at that. He does a phenomenal job of that, but 2 catches, 19 yards. One of them short of the sticks, one very fortuitous roll.
That pass interference was a bailout, too, by the way.
It was.
He was not open at all, and there was another player wide open for a first down on that play.
been a tough stretch because we've been kind of clamoring for that. Like you need that next one. You need
All right,
that
so let me counter that, Brock. If you're going to go negative, as usual, I'll go positive. More interestingly for me, of the 3 touchdown drives they had, one of them was the one at the end of the half, which was just, a sort of halftime 2-minute drill. Yep. The other 2 touchdown drives, both came when they got more people involved.
Yep.
First touchdown drive had a catch from Farrell Brown.
Yep.
Ken Walker. Noah Fant had a couple plays. Bobo had a catch. And then eventually DK had the touchdown. By the way, one of the best catches I feel like I've ever seen him make. Tremendous. Awesome. The last touchdown drive, Barner started off that drive after he made the mistake by just trucking that dude on the sideline.
Yep.
Fant had another play or 2. Lockett had a catch. McIntosh, they got involved in the passing game. Byron Murphy came in, and I don't know why, but tried to make a block on the goal line. Right. And then eventually Barner ended up catching the touchdown. When they got more people involved rather than just hit it, and I'm going back to that field goals thing we talked about last week, it did seem to help them spread it out a little bit.
No, it was awesome. I mean, look at this, 31 receptions, right? All over the board. Jackson with 8, DK 3, Noah 3, Ken Walker on a bunch of checkdowns. Actually had 8 of those receptions yesterday. Farrell, Kenny, Zach, AJ, Bobo. Yes, you kind of sprayed it all over the place with those 31 completions from Gino. No question about it. Actually, there was a bunch of scheme. A bunch of scheme that I liked early. Got under center. That little just seam route. That looked like Puyallup High School 1993, Salk. All go from under center, making it hard on that defense, not knowing run, pass, how to declare. You saw Minnesota and Sam Darnold do that a bunch too. Don't just get in the gun. Don't give them any trigger. Get under center and actually straight drop back. It's like you don't see this in the NFL anymore, right? It's been kind of cool to see come back.
Did you notice, and maybe you can help explain it a little bit to me, on some of the successful passes, especially in their first touchdown drive, did you see them do a bunch of tight end motion into pass blocking?
Yeah, they did that against Arizona as well. And actually,
I didn't notice it as much then.
Yeah,
what is that? What is the purpose of that?
That's because when you got a group, and Mark Sanchez was talking about this a bunch yesterday, like Minnesota, that does all these joker junk fronts. Right, they're unconventional. Guys are lined up everywhere. They come from different spots. So when you don't know and you can't easily declare, okay, here's your 4-down lineman, here's your linebacker, here's what they like to do, and they try to muddy it all up, the best thing you can do is slide protect. And you could do that with a back. You could do that with motion. They made that adjustment against Arizona. They made that adjustment in this game. Did a great job with it. There were a number of times Charbonnet, Walker, those guys as running backs are up there in the A gap because, again, instead of having these free runners on stunts and movements, they made some terrific adjustments. And that ball moved a lot yesterday, right? Almost 400 yards of offense against that group, only 2 sacks. And I put one of them clearly on Gino. Just got to get rid of it, get rid of the ball. So from the week before where it was 7, it was untenable. The pressure rate was off the chart. Much better job against a more complex defense yesterday. But we'll kind of continue to hammer home. Just unfortunately, too many mistakes.
Yeah.
All right, got one more?
I do, yeah.
Takeaways.
That's kind of a weird game for the guys on the edge. And I kind of would love your help kind of breaking down what you're seeing from them. Boye might have saved the game with his sack.
Yeah.
Right after Gino throws the pick, and you're like, oh, they could go down 21 points there.
Yep.
And instead, he comes up with a huge play, beautiful sack, and they end up forcing a field goal, which kept them in the game. I thought Derek Hall had a couple of really, really nice plays in this game. One was negated by a penalty. Nwosu showed up for the first time. But I just feel like I'm still waiting for them to play as stars. Remember early in the year when Daniel Jeremiah was saying he wanted to buy stock in Boye Mafe? Like, do you think he still thinks that? We don't have an opportunity to talk to him this week, but maybe next week we can ask him, especially with how well Leonard Williams is playing.
Right.
Where are those guys off the edge just turning it loose and kind of getting to that next level that I think we all thought would occur under Mike McDonald's defense?
So 6 sacks right now, right? Might get another one in the final couple weeks. Yeah, for Boye. I think Derek Hall's right along those lines as well.
Yeah, I'm not really criticizing either of them either. Like, I don't think they've played bad. I thought that they did some really nice things yesterday. That's why I'm sort of asking more than telling. Like, is there more there from those guys?
Yeah, so Hall has 7 sacks. Boye's got 6 sacks. again, those are the easy numbers to see. I think what you're talking about is what your eyes see, which is them affecting and impacting, right? They're squeezing that pocket. More times than not, you're not seeing them getting just hemmed up. They're squeezing that pocket. They're making Sam Darnold feel them. They're rushing 4 against their 5 a lot, right? This is not, Mike McDonald is not Flores on the other side, bringing the house, and he'll pick his spots. But by and large, he trusts those 4 guys, Salk, right, to do their job, to eliminate the big plays and so many one-on-ones. And I would say, I'd say that they have been very good. They've been great, right? That proverbial good to great, which is
not
so
quite
much of this 24 conversation. They're good plus.
Can they be
fringe great?
When you watch that group, can it be great?
I think Hall and Mafe can be. I do. I like this front.
The growth in Derek Hall's been pretty amazing.
Growth has been awesome. I think Boye is super solid. I think those guys allow Leonard Williams to tee off. I think that whole front is played good enough, certainly, to win this division. Some of the play on the back end, some of the inability to play complementary ball on the other side offensively, right, to really run it and limit the exposure and let those guys, can you imagine if they got to play ahead? Now, some of that's on them. They've given up opening drives. They fall behind 14-0 to Green Bay. That was on the defense. Fall behind 7-0. That was the opening drive. That's on you. But, can you imagine if you were on the other side of it?
Yeah.
Up 14, up 20. Some of those games we've seen where then they can really tee off and pin their ears back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've been very, very good. Very solid.
Good stuff. All right, those are our takeaways from today. We do those after every game, and we'll do them again on Friday, Brock, as we have a little special show on Friday. We'll be here Thursday and Friday. Seahawks play Thursday night, and so we'll be in once again. Huh?
Such a quick turnaround.
Right?
Yeah, I think Coach was talking about, was talking about them having to go to work last night, which I think they did. Like, that game ends, and I don't even know how much of that you truly can evaluate before you've got to go to work on such a short week, because now you travel. The last Thursday was at home with San Francisco. So I think they had to start game planning for Chicago last night and put the plan in
Thursday night, the day after Thanksgiving, seems a little cruel. I got to tell you, their schedule's not really done them any favors this year.
Yeah.
Not great. Okay, Brock, for all of the conversation around yesterday's game, one play seems to have generated more than any other part of it. We'll discuss next. Coach will join us a little over a half hour. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and seattlesports.com.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the Seahawks head coach this morning at 9:30.
Gino played really well. He played smart. He's got a really great command about what we're trying to do on offense on a play-in, play-out basis. And we got a lot of trust in him, and he's just playing at a high level right now. So we're excited about him, and he's leading the charge for the rest of the team of the urgency that we need going into this week and finishing out the season.
Hear exclusive reaction to yesterday's game only on Seattle Sports. It's the Mike McDonald Show coming up at 9:30.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
For every kid that didn't have a chance, and every kid that was out of options, Seattle Children's is fighting for you. Because this isn't about beating the odds. It's about changing them for all kid kind.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. So let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Oh, man, the freezing cold, it's here. All you want to do is get inside out of it, right? But you're not the only one. You know who else wants to be inside warm? Rats, mice, rodents. Yeah, Mike Salk here, and as temperatures drop, rats, mice, other rodents, they're looking for a cozy spot. They want to make a home, maybe reproduce. But the result for your house could be a smelly mess and, even worse, destroyed insulation. Your crawl space and attic can be out of sight and out of mind, but real issues can arise without you knowing about it until far too late. Yeah, we had some rodents in the house. Crawl Pros came out, and they took care of the problem, dealt with the insulation, dealt with the rodents. Mice and rats only need a very small hole in the siding or foundation walls to make a huge mess. So call Crawl Pros. They will come out and go where you don't want to. Call them to see what's going on behind those crawl space and attic hatches for free. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
The holidays remind us how good it feels to be proud and confident in our appearance when gathering with friends and family. If hair loss is getting in your way, then my good friends at Advanced Hair offer the proven solution. It's the simple one-day treatment I received, the Advanced FUE. Advanced Hair begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and that new hair is guaranteed to grow for life. You choose how much and where, and they do the rest. Advanced Hair has helped tens of thousands of people, including me, and they are the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. World-class Dr. Parango and his top-rated team use breakthrough technology delivering real results. The before and afters at advancedhair.com are surprising and incredible. Address thinning, receding, or balding today. And to celebrate the holidays, get a free consultation, 250 free hair grafts, and $250 off. Simply call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
For decades, we've been more than just roofing. From siding and windows to custom decks and gutters, we've been helping customers protect and transform their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing. I'm proud to announce our new name, State Roofing and Exteriors. The same trusted team, the same quality service, now with a name that says it all. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors. Your home, your way, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike. Mike
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Okay, hour left to go here in our morning, and 30 minutes from now, we've got Mike McDonald, who will come join us and talk about the game yesterday. I think a lot of the conversation, Brock, will focus on how it ends. It always does, right? Like when you end the game on a play that unfortunately gives the other team back the ball, that becomes the biggest story, and especially when there's a little bit of a question mark as to what happened on that play. It's an interception from Gino Smith throwing the ball to DK. He's throwing into double or triple coverage. DK, according to a lot of folks who understand the game, and I'll put you in that category, Brock, probably could have done something different on that play. Certainly, pressure coming from the right guard spot once again didn't help. What happened on that play?
Yeah, I think all those things happen. I think Minnesota had a good scheme. You could see them continually try to attack some of the vulnerability. I think they saw that 1.6 PFF passing blocking grade of Laumea. And when you put that out there, you're gonna get attacked. I thought by and large he responded. I thought the scheme responded. I thought they put a little sniffer up there as a back. I thought they used motion. We talked about this earlier. Yeah, a little sniffer, a little running back. All right.
Put a
running
sniffer
back up there. Yeah, sniffing.
I like it.
Sniffing around for any stunt or any extra pressure that comes along. And so, yes, there was some pressure between center and right guard on that play. And I think, yeah, it very clearly conceptually looked to me like DK should have continued on the corner route that Gino threw it to. And because all the coverage was there, I don't think he anticipated. I think those receivers sometimes, Salk, can judge or gauge where the ball is going to go based on different looks and coverages. And I don't think in his mind anticipated in any way that Gino was going to try to force that thing in on the first play of a rather desperate drive, needing to go the long field with no timeouts and everything else. And
50 seconds, though. I mean, like in this NFL, 50-plus seconds to go down and kick a field goal.
It's a possibility.
That's not desperate. That's almost a given. Like my expectation is that a quarterback is going to go to kick a field goal with 50 seconds left. Like that's the expectation in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
To throw it away, unfortunately, with an interception on the first, that's not tenable.
You think more people leaning into that or leaning into the Jefferson touchdown? Because to me, like that was your strength. Those are your dudes, right? Those are your difference makers. Like you have a lead, right, at home, right? A 4-point. They need a touchdown to beat you, Salk. Not a field goal, go down, tie it. They need to score a touchdown and drive it down the field.
Yeah, look, Brock, that's not great, but you still had plenty of time. That was with like 4 minutes left. I mean, like, yeah, that stunk. Don't get me wrong. And the face mask penalty that led to it is, just brutal.
You have a face mask there. It's going to be 3rd and 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you got a 4-point lead. And
but that's 4 minutes left in the game. I mean, you had 2 possessions after that, right? I mean, like, I can only get so upset. You had another opportunity after that. You end up taking an awful sack and kicking a 60-yard field goal. I don't mind the decision to kick. I don't know what else he was supposed to do there. Right. There was no good option. So, all right, give him an opportunity. I think you're hoping you got a better chance of a 60-yard field goal than a 4th and 15. I probably agree with that. It doesn't work. You get the ball back again, like the defense does its job. 50-plus seconds needing a field goal?
Yeah.
In the NFL, that gets done.
Yep.
And it should, almost every time. Instead, you immediately throw a pick, and now you're behind now you don't have a chance.
Yeah, now the game.
And because you've already thrown a pick in the game, and because you've already had that in the sack on the previous possession, yeah, I do think that becomes a huge part, maybe the key part of the conversation, because it fits what, at least for me, was the storyline of this game, which was mistakes. I think there's also a conversation about some of the play calls that end up leading to it. Right? I don't know that this game was as well called as it could be.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I lean a little more. My frustration leans a little more on that defensive drive. It just because Julian Love's a great player. And I don't know, when you've got that coverage, that right call, you're double teaming him, you got to jam. There's no other threat underneath Woolen. And you let Jefferson get out, and then Julian can't be over the top of that. Like,
come on, man. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily, but you get beat by the best, probably the best wide receiver in football.
Yep.
I mean, like, I'm sorry, that stinks. It's terrible timing. Could they have done it better? Yes, of course. But to get beat by Justin Jefferson with 4 minutes left in a game, that shouldn't decide it. Especially not when you get 2 more chances after that to make up for it.
That's strength of your roster, man.
You had
strength
2
strength
more
of your
chances
roster at home.
You had 2 more chances
At home, that's
2
fine.
more
They
chances,
got
and you're the one who
score a
keeps
touchdown?
telling me all year Gino is this and Gino in the final couple minutes, and that's what.
Yep.
Well, that's another example. Like, this one's got to go on the other ledger. Pick number 15. It's why you're looking and seeing number 21 in the league in QBR, 19 in quarterback rating, 2nd in picks thrown, and the guy he's tied with has thrown twice as many touchdowns.
Yep.
That's a brutal combination of numbers.
I get it. You're asking him to be Josh Allen, right? Over the course of this game, not just in that moment. You're right. A lot of NFL guys got to do it in that moment. By and large, the last couple of years, he's delivered late in the game, and he drove you down. He drove you down late in the game, under 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go. He drove you down and threw a game, go ahead over a touchdown at that point with 4 minutes to go in your own building. So, you're asking him to that point with 43 passes to 15 runs over the course of that game, you're asking him to be Mahomes and Allen and Burrow and one of the greats that's got to elevate everything else around him.
I don't know. You're the one who's telling me last week that he's one of the better quarterbacks in the game. You're the one who's telling me, well, he's going to have to get paid, and if he does this, that, and the other, and, we're having this whole debate last week, and G was part of the conversation as well. I don't think it's too much to ask to at least give the team a chance in the final minute of the game.
He gave you a chance. He gave you a lead at home.
Yeah, that was with 6 minutes, Brock. He had 2 more possessions after that.
It was with 4 minutes to go. They drive down 30 seconds.
4.5.
Make them drive the whole length of the field. Make them use their timeouts. Play elite defense. They've got to score a touchdown, and you've done so much of what you do is to okay, they're going to move the ball. Then we're going to stop them in the red zone. They're not going to score a touchdown on us in our building with the playoffs on the line. Our team, I would hope that Ernest Jones, I would hope that Julian Love, I would hope those guys are sick when they leave that building going, we had a lead with 4 minutes to go. We got to get one stop, make them use the whole length of the field, drive all the way down, burn their timeouts, and we win this game. It's on our shoulders. They don't score again. We win this game with a lead, and they got to score a touchdown with 4 minutes to go, and we can't get the job done.
7-3-4. I just don't understand how Brock is defending Gino today.
I'm not defending Gino. I don't
think
you are. I'm just telling you, you're asking Gino to be a $50, $60 million guy. You put the whole burden of that offense on him over the course of the game by running it 15 times. He throws you 3 touchdowns. He is competitive. He's playing through injury. He gives you a lead with 4 minutes to go, and you can't get it done. I'm not saying Gino was great. I'm saying he's a B-, a B+, actually. I'll give him a B+ yesterday because he's the only reason that game offensively was where it was.
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, he's already cost you 3 points with the pick, 3 points with the sack, and then doesn't give you the opportunity at the end of the game. Like, you're right. He did a lot of things really well yesterday, which is part of the conversation. Said it earlier. Say it again. Those things are a crucial part of it. But Brock, an NFL quarterback who wants to get paid needs to be able to not have those kind of crucial errors on the final 2 possessions of the game. And you're right. I absolutely think the defense is the better unit, and you expect more of them. I've made that point I don't know how many times over the course of our time together. I don't disagree with it, but that's with 4 minutes left. And then you get 2 more opportunities for your offense. You got to convert on one of those. And unfortunately, it's a sack, it's an interception, and it's the end of the game. And now it's out of your control. And you are counting, unfortunately, on the Cardinals of all teams to go out and beat the Rams next week in order to give you a shot. We'll come right back with everything you need to know. Coach McDonald in 20. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
This is Seattle Sports.
Fires, back shoulder, end zone, touchdown, Seahawks, Barner.
Anything you see that goes wrong, put it on me.
Throw down the middle, JSN, what a catch, over the shoulder, between 2 defenders.
Against a team like this, the unforced errors has to get cleaned up. Starts with me.
Gonna let it fly, got DK in the backfield, he's got it, touchdown, Seahawks. Back in the end zone, DK Metcalf.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Cantor Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Cantor Diamond, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach, combined with direct importing.
When you choose Cantor Diamond, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at Cantor Diamond. That's at KANTOR Diamond.
On behalf of KIRO News Radio, Seattle Sports, and Treehouse, thank you to everyone who helped make the 36th year of Holiday Magic truly magical.
This is the best part of our entire year here at KIRO. We don't have to do any bad news. It's all good news. It's you.
Holiday Magic may have ended, but the season of giving has not. You can still donate to Treehouse by going to mynorthwest.com/Holiday Magic. Thank you for serving Treehouse, and happy holidays.
Miss anything from the Brock and Salk Show? Remember, you can always catch the show on demand on seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This message brought to you by Ascend Hospitality Group, Famous Dave's, Ascend Prime, and Stanford's.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about the holidays. They're a time for friends, family, good food, and ugly sweaters. But they're also when cops are out in full force, looking to pull you over and find evidence of DUI. During the holiday months at 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we see DUI arrests skyrocket. So if instead of carolers coming to your house, it's a summons to court, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We have over 25 years of experience keeping the holidays joyous, because too much of Grandma Betty's eggnog can easily take you on a midnight sleigh ride to jail. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation in Seattle, Bellevue, Everett, or Tacoma. Don't drink and drive this holiday season, because if you're caught driving with a nose too red and cheeks too jolly, you'll be calling 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! 'Tis the season to create memories.
Play fake to Walker. Gino looks to throw. Scrambles out. Now dumps it off underneath. Walker makes a catch. Cross midfield.
Capture moments.
Still on the move. Down to the 40. He could go. 25.
And celebrate.
15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
From game day to every day, this is the Pro Shop. Shop official Seahawks gear online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop or visit us in-store at the Landing in Renton or Lumen Field.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The dining district at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And Shannon, we're not just rehabbing injuries anymore. Now we're in the business of speed and performance. Talk to me.
Yeah, Brock, we're really excited. We just opened up our IRG Physical Therapy and Sports Institute in Fremont. It's 5,000 square feet of AstroTurf rubberized flooring. We're not only going to treat your physical therapy conditions, but we're also going to help you as a patient athlete, a recreational athlete, work on strength, speed, explosion, vertical explosion, horizontal explosion. I mean, we're going to create an athlete out of you and get you back to activity at your best.
What was the genesis of this?
Oh, there's a huge need out there. I mean, you talk to people and you start looking at patients that are going through rehab. Rehab is just part of the processing, getting people to a point, but then the next point is really doing the strength and function explosion and the athletic training skills that everybody wants and needs.
Schedule online right now at irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
What's your holiday tradition? Now, if you're like me, it involves gathering around a big meal to celebrate. Well, what if there's no food on the table? Hey, it's G. Scott. This year, help someone less fortunate celebrate the holidays by supporting Nourishing Neighbors. The Nourishing Neighbors program provides grocery cards to the people who are the most impacted by food insecurity. So make a donation next time that you're at Safeway and help make sure everyone is welcome at the table for the holidays. Go to nourishingneighbors.com to learn more.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
A really frustrating day for the Seahawks on both sides of the ball. Mistakes, unfortunately, cost them, and now they lose out on the right to control their own destiny the rest of the way. Gino with a couple of picks, the last one being the killer, but there was a sack in there that really hurt them as well. Byron Murphy, the face mask, unfortunately turns a 3rd and 18 into a touchdown on the next play. Really ends up being almost a 25-yard penalty between the lost sack yardage and the 15 yards going the other way. You got Trey Brown, lines up in the neutral zone, negates a sack, and then gets burned on the next play for a touchdown. You got whatever the heck happened on the Jefferson touchdown that was just unfortunately, Brock, this team is good, but they're not good enough to have that kind of margin for error against Minnesota.
No, 11 penalties for 77 yards. It's so many of them, the most frustrating for a coach. And those are those self-inflicted pre-snap penalties. Right? In the heat of the moment, Salk, they're going to be penalties. They're going to be holds. Right? You're going to get a holding call, unfortunately, on Pharaoh Brown. Yeah, unfortunately, Murphy's going so hard and so violent. He puts his hand out there, and it does get a little bit of Sam's face mask. Like, honestly, as a coach, I think you can live with that. You're giving all-out effort. But all of the pre-snap penalties, I think Sanchez even joked about it. Like, I think this got to be one of the first games where Minnesota has one false start and you've got 5. Help me make sense of that in your own
line
building.
up in the neutral zone as a corner.
I don't. It's
as a corner.
Yeah. The only thing I can say is the game is so big and so fast for you, kind of like it was for Sam Howell when he got
a rookie's a third-year player.
I know. That's the only thing I can say is to not look over to the side judge, to not look at the football. Like,
he says he did, and he couldn't see him or hear him, and it was too loud, and this and that. I guess he's right, but geez, those are just real killers.
I'll tell you this too, Salk, by the way, going back to that little fun debate we got my vein in my neck going a little bit. 1st and 10 with 3 minutes to go at the 37 after Kenny McIntosh has that great check down and gets you to the Minnesota 37, down 3 with 3 minutes to go and 2 timeouts. That first down sack was an absolute killer. Just can't happen.
How about the screen pass one after you had 1st and 5?
I don't know. How about shorten the game right there and take 40 seconds off of it by running the football on 1st and 10?
Especially when you'd actually started running the ball. You know what? I'm just going to make my own vein bulge in my neck. Let's move it along before we talk to the coach here in about 10 minutes.
Here's the second thing you need
Lots
to know.
of frustrated Mariner fans this weekend and into today, and I understand why. The team has major infield needs, and 5 infielders, all first basemen, all ended up coming off the board just within the last few days. Paul Goldschmidt goes to New York. He gets 1 year, only $12.5 million. Carlos Santana back to Cleveland, 1 year, $12 million. Josh Naylor goes from Cleveland to Arizona, not dealt for all that much. Christian Walker to the Astros, 3 years, $60 million. Certainly seems like a deal you could try to top. And then just for good measure, Nathaniel Lowe traded from Texas to Washington for essentially a bucket of balls. Like, man, there are some really surprising, not that expensive moves being made. And unfortunately, the Mariners still sitting on the sidelines. Now, I'm not going to rip them for it because I don't know what they have up their sleeve. And maybe all of this is all leading up to a move we're going to love. But, man, does it hurt to see all of these names tick off the board and just sort of waiting. And as you mentioned, Brock, game of musical chairs you don't want to be left out of.
Yeah, there's times where there's just not a market. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And for those that have, bought and sold homes in your life and you go to a market, oh, this is terrible. The buyers or this is a seller. Like, this is one, Salk, in a position of distinct need that you have made public that you want to try to find some impact at that position. This is one that had all sorts of Baskin-Robbins flavors.
Yep.
You had the free agent route, you had the trade route, you had older players, you had younger players, you had great leadership, you had productive pros. Like, you had a bunch of different
options. You still have
there.
some of that. I mean, like, Carlos Santana, was that significantly better than Justin Turner? Not really. Right? I mean, like, if you end up with Justin Turner, is that a major difference from Santana? No, not really. Similar types of players, older guys, right? Provide probably more in the clubhouse than they do on the field. So I'm not killing them for it, but time is continuing to tick away. Unfortunately, sad news in baseball is Ricky Henderson passed away on Saturday. All-time leader in steals, single-season steals. You know all the history. I was just blown away by 66 steals to lead the league in 1998 at the age of 39.
Insane.
Isn't Ricky the guy who said all he did was push-ups and sit-ups every day? I think he
that was
is.
Herschel Walker.
Oh,
I think
really?
it was Herschel. Did 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups a day.
I thought Ricky was also a push-up and sit-up guy.
Was he in that vein?
I don't know, man, but
Him
he
and
was one
Gary
heck
Player,
of an athlete.
who shot his age at 89. Or 91,
Impressive, too.
102 or whatever he is, doing push-ups and sit-ups.
How about Charlie Woods this weekend? Did you watch any of that?
And a pretty good ace.
Pretty good.
How about
That kid's
Bernard
good.
Longer, 60-something, hitting driver from the freaking sand.
Yeah.
Tiger said afterwards, great. And think of all the shots that Tiger Woods has hit, and all the shots that Tiger Woods has watched around him. He says, single greatest shot I've ever seen in my life. 67-year-old hitting driver out of the bunker.
It's unbelievable. Who did that?
Bernhard.
Bernhard.
Bernie.
Unbelievable. Just remarkable.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
12-team playoff was a total bust. All four first-round games stunk. Average margin of victory, 17 points. All four higher seeds advance. Kirk Herbstreit cut 5, upset because he feels like the committee got it wrong. Oh, boy. Cut 5. Kirk Herbstreit. Here we go. Kirk. Hello, Kirk.
That I hope next year.
Yes.
What the social media and a lot of people who are Fringe fans get caught up in, which is wins. They had 11 wins. They must be good. Who did they beat? I think is much more important than how many wins you have. That's old school way of approaching it. Indiana having 11 wins and beating nobody, that doesn't mean they're one of the 12 best teams. Remember, I know, Linda, I'm not taking this out on you, but there's a big difference between deserving and best.
Yeah.
What this is all about is giving us the best 12 teams. Now, it's subjective. How you want to figure out the best 12 is up to you. But that's what I want to see. I don't want to hear about wins.
Oof. That's a tough take. Because wins do matter. Gotta win. I love Kirk, and I kind of know where he's coming from. And you got to have wins versus the right people. So then make sure scheduling across the board is competitive. Make sure the SEC plays 9 conference games. Yeah, and make sure that Indiana, has to play somebody out of conference. It's quality. I get it, but that's a tough take.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do if you're not going to look at wins?
Yeah,
anyway.
Just simulate the season if you're going to do that. Just stay in August. All right, Bama's in. We're not even going to play the games. Like, what is he talking about?
You're absolutely right, Lyle. Kraken struggling. They lose 5 straight. I think they'd like to start simming the rest of the season as well. That's everything you need to know, and we do a quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Let's see. We got Coach McDonald going to join us next. Unfortunately, second week in a row coming in after a loss. We'll hear what he has to say and what went wrong next on Brock and Salk.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the Seahawks head coach this morning at 9:30.
Gino played really well. He played smart. He's got a really great command about what we're trying to do on offense on a play-in, play-out basis. And we got a lot of trust in him, and he's just playing at a high level right now. So we're excited about him, and he's leading the charge for the rest of the team of the urgency that we need going into this week and finishing out the season.
Hear exclusive reaction to yesterday's game only on Seattle Sports. It's the Mike McDonald Show coming up at 9:30.
The holidays remind us how good it feels to be proud and confident in our appearance when gathering with friends and family. If hair loss is getting in your way, then my good friends at Advanced Hair offer the proven solution. It's the simple one-day treatment I received, the Advanced FUE. Advanced Hair begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and that new hair is guaranteed to grow for life. You choose how much and where, and they do the rest. Advanced Hair has helped tens of thousands of people, including me, and they are the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. World-class Dr. Parango and his top-rated team use breakthrough technology, delivering real results. The before and afters at advancedhair.com are surprising and incredible. Address thinning, receding, or balding today. And to celebrate the holidays, get a free consultation, 250 free hair grafts, and $250 off. Simply call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com. SportsOffice.com.
Hey guys, ready to feel stronger, leaner, energetic, and more confident? For a limited time, Revive Men's Health offers 25% off TRT and ED bundles. Plus, get a free month of compounded semaglutide, a powerful proven weight loss medication with the same active drug as Ozempic. Terms and exclusions apply. Don't wait. This offer won't last.
Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law. Battle-tested.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory-certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. Shane Company is your go-to destination for high-quality fine jewelry gifts. Come find beautiful gifts at competitive prices, from dream engagement rings to tennis bracelets, engravable charms, and more. All in stock and ready to give. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Television sales on Black Friday set new records as millions of Americans snapped up the hot deals. But a lot of people were out of town or too busy to take advantage of the special pricing. So, how about a redo? Right now, you've got a second chance to save big on many of the top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs. Where? At Video Only, where the smart shoppers go. So, don't miss out. Check out Video Only now, or
you'll be sorry.
On behalf of KIRO News Radio, Seattle Sports, and Treehouse, thank you to everyone who helped make the 36th year of Holiday Magic truly magical.
This is the best part of our entire year here at KIRO. We don't have to do any bad news. It's all good news. It's you.
Holiday Magic may have ended, but the season of giving has not. You can still donate to Treehouse by going to mynorthwest.com/Holiday Magic. Thank you for serving Treehouse, and happy holidays. The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2024.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
This one's the biggest one right now because it's obviously the next one.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
That's a terrible take.
Yes, sir!
the brand new Mike McDonald show open. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, it's good. Obviously a frustrating one yesterday. What was your level of frustration with that game?
How do you? What's the
scale?
The scale? I mean, I'd say the top end of the scale. Yeah, we just had a meeting with our staff, and I mean, like, just to be honest with you, you can't. Yeah, like it's like you get the wind knocked out. It's like hard to feel like you can't breathe to a certain extent. Like you can't sleep. You're sick to your stomach. Replayed the game, a million times, and there's things you're going to learn from it. And but you kind of have to think that way in order to grow, I think. And we're blessed with an opportunity to be on a short week, so you're forced to move forward, and that's what we're going to do.
Is it self-inflicted wounds that make you more frustrated as opposed to feeling like, hey, the other team was just better on that day, and you couldn't hang with them? Is that what you mean by the frustration?
Yeah. No, you're frustrated because we're not there yet, and you want to be there, and we're working extremely hard to get to that point, and the results aren't mirroring what we feel like the process is warranting, and so it's the same conversation we had throughout the year, and I feel like we're really close, and we show signs of it throughout the games, and our guys, I think our players feel, they feel it when we're playing as one, when we're playing 12, when the 12 is one, mentality is together, and that's how we're operating. We're a pretty dang good football team. We're just not doing as consistent enough to win games against teams that against really good football teams, which Minnesota's a really good football team, and we're right there. We make a couple more plays down the stretch, and we're having a different conversation right now. So that's how close we are. But yeah, I think of course you're frustrated, but it's more of a little more consistency to get to be the team that we want to be.
Just the nuts and bolts of it there, Coach. Like, game ends, you have to start going in and game planning for Chicago, or do you have to go back and learn, as you said, with that growth mindset from some of the challenges of this game? Just walk me through from when the game ends to where we're sitting down this morning.
Well, it's there's parts of you that want to think the wrong things. To be honest with you, I mean, you're when life doesn't go your way, how are you going to handle it? And so, as our coach and the leader of our team, we got to move forward. We got a lot. We got so much ahead of us. It doesn't sometimes, like, if you trick yourself, you didn't feel like it. But when you really look at it, it's right there. It's right there. And the cool thing is we have an opportunity to go on a short week. So my mentality is let's tell the guys we love them. They fought their tails off, and understand what happened in the game. We'll keep those conversations with our team in house, but and then we have to move forward. And for me, Brock, I haven't watched the Bears this year, so I just went right back to the office and started watching them. Mm-hmm. I wasn't ready to watch our game yet until this morning, so that's how I handled it. So it was Bears last night, Seahawks this morning until this point, and then just to kind of make sure we're understanding where we're at and where we need to grow and where we need to move forward. And then when we finish this, then it'll be all Bears moving forward.
When you say there's a part of you that wants to think the wrong things,
yeah,
is that like you want to? I mean, as a parent, Brock and I have talked about this any number of times. You want to yell, you want to scream.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to dwell on the past. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, you're human. There's things you're not happy about, and like. But we always talk about, okay, you're going to put your money where your mouth is. When we want to look inward, man. Like, we want to stick together. We want to look inward, and how can we make this thing grow and get better? And is as tough of a learning experience it is a learning. I mean, we have to learn from it and move forward. Otherwise, we're not going to get where we need to get. So that's really the ultimate mentality. But of course, I mean, you just it takes a minute. You got to get a digest. You can't just just kind of go through life just blind and just not think about those types of things. Of course, you're gonna think about what happened in the game, and some things aren't going to make you very happy. But okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to fix it? How are you going to move forward?
I think I've said, if not once, 100 times on broadcasts, Mike, over my couple decades of doing it, like those are the penalties that drive coaches nuts. The pre-snap penalties, right? The effort penalties, playing your butt off, getting a hand in a face mask. Sometimes those things happen. But the pre-snap motions and false starts and some of those things, can you speak to some of the challenges of that yesterday? Is that emotion? Is that just caught up? What led to so many of those pre-snap penalties yesterday in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, look, if we knew the exact answer on what we needed to do to fix pre-snap penalties, we wouldn't have them. So you got to go back to like, okay, how are we practicing? What type, like, are these guys put in this situation? Are we not mentally present in those moments where we can be cleaner? I think the answer is all the above, and we have to get it cleaned up. We'd have to, it's really hard to get it, to work from behind the sticks. It's just really, really tough. And our guys know that. They know that. And we talk about it every day. There's a lot of things we're doing on a day in, day out basis to try to prevent those types of situations. And but it's still happening. So we got to keep working on it and keep trying to find solutions for it. So those are conversations we have this morning, and our guys know it, and we got to go attack it.
I know you spoke a little to it yesterday. What happened with Reek Woolen to not start the game yesterday?
Well, it's the same thing. There's some team rules throughout the week, and just felt like it was the best thing for the team and for him not to start the game. And he was great. He understood, took accountability in that moment with his teammates, and that's how the whole make it right mentality is about. Is, hey, we're going to take the emotion out of it, and we fell short of the expectations and our standard, and let's go make it right and let's move forward. So,
without addressing his infraction in particular, how many team rules do you have?
Not many.
Can you share what they like? What are the team rules?
I mean, team rules is like a generic statement, but it's like a team standard of just what we expect.
Okay.
And there's things that fall in line with that, but it's just we don't want guys walking around on eggshells on how that's not how we operate. It's just, but we have to hold each other accountable and be there for our teammates when they need us, and that's how we operate. So, and again, we're not we're moving forward. I think that's just the best way to do it. If you start holding grudges and you get mad and emotions, that's not how you want to be. It's just let's rock and roll.
I think another one along the lines of some of those pre-snap penalties, Mike, the easy one is just to look at the overall rushing attempts, right? 15 rushes yesterday. I think it was 16 the week before versus the Packers. And it's really easy for me and for fans to say, just run the ball more. Why don't you run the ball more? Is you kind of diagnose and dig into some of that imbalance yesterday with 43 passes and 15 runs? What jumps out?
Well, like I said after the game, some of it start with how Minnesota operates. And they do a great job in the run game on early downs, and some of the what they present structure wise and personnel. So a lot of some of those are run pass types options that we're getting out of run looks and passing it versus certain things. So I think that like on first and second down, that's what gets it. And then I think we need to be more efficient on first down to create some of those more run friendly types of situations too. I think really the question that we need to be asking is, how do we keep it moving forward? How do we stay ahead of schedule? Which, look, I mean, until we're always going to be saying that from now until eternity, if that's the type of football we want to play. And there's a lot of good stuff happening on our offensive side of the ball yesterday out there. Our guys played physical. There's some mistakes. Like talking to Gino this morning, this guy's, I mean, he battled his tail off, man. This guy's an absolute competitor. I actually thought he played a really good game for the most part, and put us in a position to go win it. And there's a lot of good stuff. Situationally, we were way better. We wanted taking the sack in the plus territory was probably our worst play of the game.
Yeah, first and 10 with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, as a whole offensive operation, that's the one where, we got to be better in that moment, really, for really everybody involved. So, but other than that, I thought our guys played really hard, and there's a lot of good stuff on tape that we can build off of.
Kind of led you to a brutal choice, right? 60-yard field goal, 4th and 15, or punt.
Yep.
None of those are great options, so certainly I don't see any criticism here. But
No.
how do you go through those 3 lousy options in your head?
Yeah, you just do like back of the napkin math on probability, and that's honestly what you're thinking. Like, okay, this is the.
What came next? Go for it on 4th and 15? Would that have been the next?
No,
best
the next one would have been to punt it.
Really?
Yeah. You get a 4-minute backed up. They would have been more aggressive in that moment, trying to get it out of range. We would have faith in our defense to get a stop in that moment too. But just felt like, hey, just like I said after the game, we're making decisions to try to go win this thing. We want to go win the game. So we felt like that helped us win the game the most. By trying to go tie it up. If that's a tough ask on J-My, but guy's a gamer, man, competitor, and he wanted a crack at it, so we gave it to him.
This may not surprise you. We get that little text toy that Saul looks at, and we get to engage with our listeners all show long, which is just awesome.
The what?
And
Brock calls it the text toy. It's an old Kevin Calabro thing. It's
Yeah.
just people who send us text messages throughout the day.
And it may not
You would
surprise.
imagine they're all very, they're never unhinged. They're totally rational and logical. Yeah.
But they're fans. It's awesome. They're invested. They love it. They're
text toy.
emotional.
Yeah.
But an old quarterback, can maybe defend quarterbacks a whole lot, which I've certainly done today with Gino's play and felt some of the brunt of that of others. Would you mind just kind of speaking into, you said it there, he's a hell of a competitor, but can you speak to how much of the offense he's been kind of carrying and leading, and maybe some stuff that we don't see just on game day that speaks to why you have continually just been at Gino's side?
Well, he makes it go. I mean, how could you? It's really simple. I mean, this guy, we put a lot on his plate. And rightfully so. He's earned the right to have a lot on his plate operationally, and so just incredibly prepared every day. Probably one of the most diligent workers that I've ever seen. The competitive. Well, my opinion about him as a competitor is on record and consistent. I mean, but like I think if you can't see that, like what are you watching? Arm talent, even him moving around. I think his under pressure stats are really good this year. So just like the poise in the pocket, accuracy. I mean, I don't know where else to go with this, but it's like his situational stuff, like the 2-minute comebacks. I mean, this is the same guy that put us in position to go win the game with 3 or 4 minutes to go. Defensively, we get a stop. Now we're talking about another Gino Smith, fourth quarter comeback. So. Yeah, I mean that's the stuff that I see day in, day out. Is that what you're looking for, Brock? I mean,
It is. Now, the flip side of that is 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, which is going to get hit over my head a bunch, right? 17 touchdowns.
Yeah, the interceptions.
50, I mean, it's a lot of it, and in a really rough one in territory to give them a field goal. And, just some of those, how do you counter that as a veteran decision-making wise? And a couple more that went through their hands yesterday to try to counter or, and try to cut off some of those negative plays and some of those interceptions.
Well, yeah, I mean, that to me, that is, that's the part of his game where we're chasing and trying to make some better decisions in those moments. But yeah, that's I'd say that's fair criticism with the interception numbers. But look, I mean, it's the same thing that I'm going to say is like, this is the same guy that is putting us in position in a lot of these games to go win. And, yeah, we don't want to turn the ball over. Of course we don't. And those are decisions that we dissect and go back. But you want your quarterback to be confident back there and trust in what he sees and working through his stuff and throwing the ball on time. And yeah, I mean, but we'll definitely don't want to turn the ball over for sure. He knows that, and we'll just keep attacking it, man. Keep attacking those decisions and the process that goes behind it.
Hey, how beat up was Charbonnet yesterday? We saw him on the injury report with the oblique. What was his health? Was he okay?
Yeah, he was okay. He was okay.
Did it limit him at all? Limit his carries? Anything like that yesterday?
Yeah, I think it'd be fair to say that it limited his workload.
Okay. The other, just to sort of jump around a little bit and kind of come back to the defense, Brock and I ended up talking earlier about the guys on the edge. The numbers don't look spectacular. You're not seeing anybody with 10, 12, 15 sacks, but it sure seems like you could pick a play or two in every game where each of those guys is really impacting the game.
Yeah.
Taken as a whole, how would you gauge the edge play from that group?
Well, I think we're on our way. I love our mentality up front because it's an 11-man rush mentality. So there's a lot of focus on Leo right now in the pass protection, which he's earned, and the guys are playing off of him right now, and we got to keep learning on how to handle how teams are game planning us and being able to adjust in game of kind of the protection plan that everybody kind of goes into each game with. So that's something that we're all working together at. But our guys, I think, are playing really hard. I think the cool thing is they're playing unselfishly. They're playing together, and they're adhering to the plan. And I think that's really cool. So, and we decide to pressure. It does complement one another where we can bring things from kind of all over the place. And it just sets everybody up. So I'm happy with the way they're playing. But I think that, there's another level we can go to for sure.
Is there, just to talk about Derek Hall for a moment in particular, we talked about him a little bit early this year and just some of the growth that we've seen from last year to this year. How has that growth continued over the course of the year? And then maybe what's the next step for someone like him?
You're asking about like his growth from when exactly?
Maybe from when you got here to now and sort of what could still be ahead for him.
Well, I think it kind of sounds weird, but he kind of grew by understanding what type of player he is and like what his strengths were and playing to those, and then let the changeups fall off of that. But this guy's a physical, rugged, speed to power player on the edge that he knows. This guy's he's battling some stuff now without putting air in the dry, the dirty laundry. But like he's not 100%, but he's playing his tail off. He's playing really hard. He's working through things. And so I think that's just the growth is accepting what type of player he needs to be successful. And I think you've seen the results from it. But this guy could be a really good player. This guy could, like, I'm talking about production-wise, can really, talking about a double-digit sack guy on a consistent basis. I believe he's that type of player.
How about those receivers for Minnesota yesterday, Coach? How special is Jefferson in particular? Having studied the tape, and you probably defended him before, but then seeing it in person again yesterday, and obviously the touchdown at the end to kind of slash the scheme there. How special a player is that dude?
Yeah, he's a great player. You got to give him his props. He's a great player. Addison's a great. They have a great. They've done a great job with their skill people, and Addison's a great player as well. And then they just complement each other really well. And you have to have a really tight plan to account for where he is at all times. And when he was singled, they made us pay on the one, and then when he made a great play at the end as well. So they're great players.
Just football teaching, and not to air either guy out because I don't know. We don't know all the details of that scheme as you're trying to cloud coverage there for Reek, and he's hearing it on social media, whatever. Like, what is the responsibility there? If he inside releases, you just try to just hammer him in a little bit more, or Julian a little deeper over the top. How do you just kind of detail-wise stop that?
Yeah,
scheme?
look, if you ask me a normal like X's and O's question, I will sit here for the next 2 hours and I love to just talk like strengths and weaknesses of calls and coverages and hey, this guy, this is the technique. Like that's that I wish I got those questions all day long. On this one, it's the guy made a great play. Sam stepped up in the pocket. We had a good rush. We didn't get it done. And like you said, like sometimes it's just they made a great play, and our guys were right there, and we you would have wished that we go 6 inches closer and it was a PBU and we're on to second down, but that's not what happened. So there's some details of that play that, as with every play, there's coaching points on stuff that we'll keep that with the our guys in house, and we'll make sure we're buttoned up and moving forward. But yeah, that was that was a great play by them.
I think similarly, there's been a lot of conversation about the final interception and whether or not the wide receiver is in the right spot. Is that something you can talk about?
Look, we're not pointing fingers. We're not playing the blame game. This is not, you can't operate like that. You can't. You go back, you assess the tape and what the play design was and all that. Like, let's keep that. Let's respect it. Like, we just need to be better in that moment. Our people of what we're going to get to in those chunk situations, where the ball needs to get to, and then it just all needs to be better. So from the route being run to the ball, play design, all that type of stuff, we're in a tough situation to go about 50 yards in 50 seconds with no timeouts. So Minnesota knows that, and they played us accordingly. They had some good stuff ready on defensively, and I thought we had a good plan. We just didn't execute it. So that's what happened.
Which is why this league has me pacing around a pool as you not sleeping, as feels like, as you said, you get the air knocked out of you because Minnesota is 8-1 in one-score games, and it's why they're 13-2. Right? Yep. I mean, those handful of plays each game, those 4, 5, 6 defining, you never know when they are, right? I mean, it just feels like they are such a case example of that, of being buttoned up in those moments and in those situations, and a huge part of why they're 13-2. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, it's more than fair, and we want to be the team that's elite in one-score games, and we're going to be that team. That's we're chasing that every day on how we practice situations, what we study, how we're building our systems, all those things, and that's part of the reason that you feel frustration because you felt like that we had a really great opportunity to take that next step as a team and get a big time win at home in front of our fans, and we didn't take advantage of that opportunity, so that's why it stings. But they deserve a lot of credit as well. I mean, it's a really good football team, really well coached, and they did a good job. They did enough to win the game.
We just got a minute or so left, so I'll throw kind of a random one at you, a guy that we have not spent much time talking about, and he's not a household name, but the physicality and play of Josh Jobe since he has taken over that spot. Again, the opposite of a household name comes in late this year. What is it about him that has allowed him to take over that spot?
Well, I think this is a great opportunity to show about how we want to operate here. So when you're given your opportunity, his intent of what he does every day is what we're looking for. So I've talked about this in press conferences to the beat writers and stuff, but like if you just go to a walkthrough and you just watch 29 do his thing, that's what we're talking about. So it's not like, hey, I'm going to get a huge sweat in and I'm going to overcook everything and make it extra and all this. But it's like, what's my footwork? What's my alignment? Where are my eyes? We call it mental sweat. What's my initial footwork? Okay, next play. Boom. What's my initial reaction? Over and over and over and over again. And that's how we need to operate, everybody.
Sounds very purposeful. Is that the right word?
Yeah, we talk about intent. That's maximizing every opportunity that you're given to give yourself a best chance to get prepared to go play at a high level. And so that's what you see on game day.
Go to Chicago Thursday night. Got to root for the Cardinals on Sunday against the Rams. And we'll be back here to talk more about it on Friday. Merry Christmas! Thank you for coming in today.
Appreciate you guys.
And we'll be back. We're not in tomorrow, Brock, but we will catch everybody on Thursday to get ready for the game. Until then, you know where the hay is.
It's in the bar.
See everybody.
Get to the chopper!
This is Seattle Sports.
An absolute laser thrown out of a bazooka from Gino Smith.
Yeah, we got to go and put it behind us now. We got to get ready for Chicago.
Darnold being chased. He goes down. Boye Mafe coming off the edge.
I thought defensively they fought their tails off all game.
Here comes the rush. Gino steps up. He throws. He's got Jackson Smith-Njigba. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We gave ourselves a shot. Obviously didn't get it done, but got a short week. Got to get back to it, man. We got to get our minds right and get back to work.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
It's Fight Night, live boxing at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. A full evening of boxing action, Friday, January 10th. Make it a destination event. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this evening of pure excitement. The best in professional boxing. It's Fight Night, January 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older. Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Please game responsibly.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people.